Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
And we still don't have a decision.
Wait.
The decision lingers. Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Nice of you guys to show up to work today. Freaking
You had jury
slackers
duty
over
yesterday,
here.
right?
Hey man, listen, I'm protected by the United States government.
He could tell you what he was doing yesterday, but he'd have to injure you.
Yeah, you're not gonna get me. I'm protected, so you can't. Actually, that was a violation of saying that. I felt threatened, Adam the Bull.
Sorry.
Oh boy! Wow.
Do you need a safe space?
No.
So you were relieved from jury duty, right?
Yes,
you
yes.
don't have to sit on a jury trial. Okay.
No, I don't. It
That's
was-
a relief for us because it's one thing to lose you for a day. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not okay losing you for a week.
They,
Not in the
or a
name of
month,
not in
I
the
don't
name
know.
of
they hit me with the
justice.
7.
Yeah.
They hit me. I'm not gonna tell you what the because I'm not gonna get into what the case was about. But
Yeah.
it's like this could be. We're thinking 7 to 14 day. I said,
Oh wow! Did you play the I'm in the media card and they released you?
Well, let's see. They do ask you, do you have any questions, or would you be able to unbiasedly talk about the trial? And then
Right.
actually, it was something that I was very biased about. I was like, oh yeah, I can't do this. Yeah, because let me know.
You got yourself
Really?
out of
And
there.
but you're not allowed to tell us what it is.
No,
Were
no,
you?
I-
did
I-
you know the defendant well?
No.
Is that it?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. There were circumstances around what the defendant was accused of.
I see.
Yes, see?
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
see?
you said I have bias, so I'm released.
Yes, I
You
got.
are such a
Was it
mystery.
Jimmy Haslam?
Huh?
Jimmy Haslam?
No. I pulled the Jeff Sessions. I must recuse myself.
Good for you. Hey, that's a smart move. Smart move. Well, so basically everybody knows. Oh, the Gopher's in the middle chair because later on today's show, Sir Yacht. Cleveland sports fans, if you're active on social media, you know who Sir Yacht is. I'm guessing you know who
Yeah,
he is.
Mr. Yacht.
Apparently he's got half a million followers on TikTok.
Followers, yes. Very active on social media.
Yeah.
He's gonna be right
Funny
here.
guy, musician, kind of in the vein of Mike Polk. I think he's a young Mike Polk.
That's
Maybe
more
he's
than
the
fair.
next Mike
That's
Polk.
more than fair.
Yeah. Super nice guy. He's going to be on the program. Aditi's here today for her day. And also, we're going to talk in just a little bit about a Browns wideout that had a little bit of controversial comments yesterday as it pertains to Baker Mayfield, talking to Mary Kay Cabot. We'll dive into those in just a little bit. But we wanted to start with news of the day because obviously we all know we're on Deshaun Watson watch. And really, guys, there is no news unless I'm missing something.
We're like fathers in like the waiting room, just pacing back and forth. You know, that's what it feels like, waiting to find out if it's a boy or a girl. And by that I mean six games or a year.
Yeah,
you know?
it's kind of like
maybe in the waiting room in the 50s. Nowadays, the man is in the room.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
Unless it was through COVID.
The
no one was
1950s,
allowed
I
to.
should have said.
And he had a 2-3 shots of scotch on the rocks.
That's
and,
true. Oh,
and
yeah.
3 Marlboro Lights.
Absolutely. In the hospital.
In
the
Right,
hospital.
in
By the
the
baby.
in the delivery room.
And the doctor's smoking a cigarette
Yeah.
too. He's just like,
Lord,
Yeah, right.
Lord.
Yeah.
What's going on down there?
When I first broke into TV, it was the late 80s.
Yeah.
And I was never more surprised. I went to Bowling Green, and our facilities there were clean, and there was never any food, drink, or smoking allowed in the control room.
Yeah.
My first job was in Kentucky, where they try to get kids hooked on smoking at around 5.
Absolutely.
It's the national, it's the state business. It's
It's on the
tobacco.
flag. Yep.
I
Kids
remember
smoking a cigarette.
I walked into the control room and I couldn't see anything because it was just a big puff of smoke. Every person at the control room was smoking.
Yep.
And you could barely breathe when you would walk in there.
it's probably
There was
still
one guy
like that.
smoking in a hole in his throat. You know?
smoking through the hole in the throat
Right.
so we could yell at people at the same time.
Have you
It
ever
was a
walked-
nightmare.
Have you ever been in a state where they're like still like haven't given up on that? Sometimes I think it was West Virginia was one of the last holdouts. And
yeah,
he's going,
North Carolina, all the tobacco states.
Yeah, you go into one of those places and you're like, really? You're still doing this?
Well,
Yeah.
it is amazing.
Yeah.
I still see far fewer smokers today than even
It
10
is,
years
and
ago.
now I can't stand it.
No, because
when I
we-
was in
we're not around
college,
it anymore.
when I was in college, you'd go to the bar and you'd stink like cigarettes
Yeah.
by the
Wake
end
up
of
the
the
next
night.
morning and you smell your
2003,
pile of
Your
clothes.
hair, everything.
Everything stunk.
But now, if anybody smokes, because have a single friend that I know of that smokes.
Yeah, I don't think I do
So whenever I'm around at any point someone that smokes, it makes me nuts. I can't stand it.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's
I
really
bartended
crazy.
in that mess for a few years. Probably lost like
you have
six,
black lung.
I lost like 6 years of my life. It was like I worked in a coal mine.
Yeah, you have the black lung. No doubt.
No doubt. And
I
would
get checked regularly.
I would throw my clothes out when I got home sometimes. I'm like, these aren't coming clean.
Just go to the thrift store the next day and buy your outfit for the night.
Yep, buy it back.
What's called Febreze.
Yeah.
Hang them
Yeah,
boys
but
up.
Febreze mixed with nicotine is still gross.
Yeah.
That's like a New York City cab driver smells like.
Yeah, exactly.
Long story short, folks, we are going to come give you up-to-date information as soon as we hear it. Could come
That's
any
right.
moment. And if it happens on the show, we will cut in live and tell you everything that's going on.
And here's the other thing. If it happens at 2:30 today, we're immediately launching. We're hitting the launch code.
We'll send us back down there.
And the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show will be live, giving you all the latest news on when this happens. And guys, I'm a little leery of the fact that it's so quiet right now.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the calm before the storm is a real thing. Yesterday, there was a couple of smoke signals. I think it was
Josina
tweeted
that
maybe.
Right, what she said was she said there was a source that she spoke to last week that she asked, hey, could we find out this week? And the person originally said no. And then she spoke to the person again, I believe, on Sunday about could we hear on Monday? And that person then said maybe.
Yeah.
So, but obviously it didn't happen.
We're
And
looking
that's-
at the
and that's
smoke-
the news.
We're
That's
looking
the-
at
that's the
the smokestack, and we're waiting for the smoke
Right,
signals
right.
to rise.
Yeah.
As I was sneaking and peeking in and out of the jury deliberation room, like, hey, they gonna let me out of here. I was looking at my phone, and they had the thing where Deshaun Watson was going to a photo shoot, right, or something.
They made him walk weirdly across the street.
Yeah, like he was
Browns, can we drive the look? Can
Like-
we drive him in the cart? Why is Deshaun Watson full uniform walking across the street in Berea as cars are about to hit him?
What do you think the cars that drove by were thinking? That's Deshaun Watson.
Yo, facts,
nuts.
right? And the fact that he's shooting promos, it hit me like, man. So this dude is really on your squad, and
Yeah, here's the golf cart.
I love this.
Why couldn't the
This
golf
footage
cart
is
take him
great.
across the street?
That's what I didn't understand.
He could have pulled up.
They said, okay, the end of the road here, Deshaun.
What happened?
Get out and walk.
This is a really janky look, Cleveland. This is
That's
not how we should be
embarrassing.
treating our $80 million
and
quarterback.
that's their PR guy, Peter John
230
Baptiste,
million.
with him.
Yeah, I just meant this next season.
now when
I mean, that's
people-
embarrassing.
when people see
Does that
this,
happen at Jerry's World right there?
No.
Come on now,
when,
Cleveland.
when people see
Can you see
this,
Tom Brady
they're-
doing that?
No, he's not getting that off. Tom
Crossing Dale
flew his
Mabry
dress.
in Tampa to get a photo shoot?
But when you look at this, he's going to do a photo shoot. He's in the building. When fans actually see him, I think it raises their anxiety a little bit because it's like, well, the dude is there. He's healthy. He can play. And now there's a whole lot of people after they saw that. My dad and a bunch of other people called me and said, "Hey man, they gotta give us some sort of some sort of verdict here, man. I saw Deshaun Watson at practice. He had his uniform on.
Yeah.
I think the longer it goes and the more days that they practice, the angst is gonna rise considerably every single day.
I'm in a chat group with a bunch of guys I've known for years. We were in a fantasy football league together, right? I think every day I get, hey, Bull, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's the latest thought? Like, I have some secret information
listen,
that I haven't
we all
shared.
get that. And
My buddy calls me today. What do you think about Deshaun Watson in the draft? Where we draft him? Like, where do I take him? Because
It's a good question.
yeah, well, fantasy owners have the same question that
Right.
the Browns have.
Very good
What do we do with
Turmoil.
this guy?
Yeah.
You know what? You just said something that was interesting to me. You said it's starting to get real. Like you see him in the full game uniform, not the
sure.
shells.
Yes.
The game uniform. I thought when I saw that yesterday too, it hit like a reality button for me. And then I decided, I don't want to get excited and then be let down for the suspension. So I told myself, when am I going to have the goosebump moment where I'm like, holy hell, he's ours. It's going to be, and now picture this. The game's on Fox or wherever it is.
yeah.
And they come back from the opening kickoff. Let's introduce the starting lineup for the Cleveland Browns. And he comes up and he says, Deshaun Watson, quarterback, Clemson. That's when I'm going to have my goosebump moment. When it's, because it could be week 8 before we see that. It could be next year.
Yeah.
But whenever we see that, I'm probably going to start to weep like a child.
Because you got to think about it. Like for your emotions, for 4 years, we saw Baker Mayfield come out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, or different. That's a relationship. You've been out here 4 years. Like you invested time, you invested money in jerseys, everything, your Sundays.
And emotional
And
capital.
emotional, right?
Yeah.
So even for me, that I thought they could upgrade from Baker, it's still this newness in my stomach because I haven't seen another quarterback here, and not a good one. At least the quarterback that I saw here, Baker, gave me some moments. So now I'm sitting here thinking like, well, I hope we get some moments, and I want those moments. But it's the reality of being in a new relationship, right? The ups and downs, whether he's going to be, please don't get injured moments, like those type of things. And I think it was really poignant to see it when he put the jersey on. I was like you, I'm like, man,
it's real.
But you know how at the baseball trade deadline, there'll be trade rumors involving your team,
right?
And you'll hear a rumor. Like when they got Andrew Miller, right? For a little while before that, there was rumors that maybe they'd get, and you hear that rumor as an Indians fan at the time, that they might acquire Andrew Miller. You already got a good team. We know how good Andrew Miller is. And in the time from when you first hear the rumor until the time the trade happens, you have this like, oh my God, are we going to get like this?
This
weird,
could be the missing piece.
And in a way, this Deshaun Watson thing has been that. Because he's on the team, but it doesn't feel like he's fully on the team until we know when we're going to actually see him play in a game.
It'll feel like we traded for him all over again.
In a way, it will
be. Runs onto
that
field.
But you guys did not get a goosebump moment watching him walk slowly across the street after getting off of a golf cart?
I wanted to, but I'm like, what are we making him do?
What an inauspicious entry into our
He's
world.
He's our franchise, and he's crossing the street.
Wouldn't it be amazing, like, not really, but wouldn't it be amazing if he got hit by a car and it was Tony Grossi driving the car? Tony Grossi driving.
No, none of that would be amazing. It would be absolutely catastrophic.
It would be terrible.
It would be the most Browns thing ever, but it would not be amazing. It would not be amazing.
Would Tony finally get fired?
In any word.
Do you think he had a moment of doubt, like regret about the whole Cleveland thing when he was getting off the golf cart?
I wondered that. Listen, I wondered what's going through Deshaun's mind when they actually stopped the golf cart and said, all right, Deshaun, end of the road,
far as I can go.
You got to walk the rest of the way. And I'm sure as he's hearing his cleats click, clack over on the concrete, he's thinking, I never did this in Houston, guys.
I want to know.
I never did this in Houston.
Thank you for this video, by the way, Jake. This is amazing.
By the way,
it is great.
But like, what is this golf cart driver doing? He's so busy.
I know.
Where's he got to go that he can't drive him the rest of the way there?
I don't know. Maybe he's not licensed to go on the road.
Peter checked both ways. Good job, Deshaun. Deshaun checked both ways. Very good.
On a serious tip,
what is he thinking?
I think he's thinking when he has that uniform on, he probably thinking, I thought I would never have this uniform on. I thought I would never be.
Is this car coming speeding up?
Right. Is that an ice cream truck I hear?
I am walking across the street to take this picture in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I told them I wasn't coming and showing up, but I think his agent said this.
It's nuts.
If you win there, they'll forget everything that just happened.
100%.
Oh, without question. McNuggets, what's up?
I have a legitimate question. I have not been to the Browns facility in Berea. So
in Berea.
Is that the parking lot that the players cross daily to get
to
the facility?
No. They
That's where
pull
the
into
media
the gate
parks.
and they go left if you're coming towards the facility. And it's a fully gated parking lot.
Yes, that parking lot that you're seeing there is where the media parks.
That's where trash like us have to park and then cross the street.
Going where I don't know what's over there.
I never knew there was anything over there. That building behind the parking lot, I just thought was like an old factory or something. I don't know what it is.
I've never paid any attention
Never.
to because that's behind the main parking lot.
Where the media parks.
Please
Where
never
the
stop showing this video. Please never stop
No, I
showing
like-
this video.
yeah, it's the best.
I want to just bring it up randomly throughout.
There's no hustle there. Can we get a little hustle from Peter and Deshaun?
I wonder what Peter's thinking.
No
too,
sense
by
of
the way.
urgency.
Deshaun, I hate to ask you to do this, but we got to walk across the street.
If you have never walked on concrete with cleats on,
It's a slippery slope.
oh, you out of here.
Is he
Yeah.
wearing?
Oh,
I guess
you
he
outta
would be
here.
wearing.
And you can
cleats
tell
for
he's going
photos.
very tenuously, step by step.
Yeah.
You will find yourself in a storm drain, like he had them big long cleats.
No,
on.
the real story. You talk about this crazy car crash.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine had he slipped walking on that pavement and
my
injured himself?
God.
Oh, the memes.
And there's video to prove it.
Oh, my God.
I've never been more
Thank
scared.
God
of
that didn't
I've
happen.
never been more scared of an individual that plays with my team being injured. Like,
Put him
You
in
want him to
bubble
live in
wrap.
bubble
I
wrap.
know.
yeah, like it's just weird. I don't know why, because I'm not one of them dudes. Like I've been injured a lot. You come back, you figure this shit, you go do your thing. I just don't know. Maybe it's just the level of assets and just
It's what we've got invested in.
he got everything invested in
It's
this
like
dude.
it's like crashing a Lamborghini. You know?
Yep.
It's a different feeling than when you crash a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
Wait, I just crashed my, especially when you don't have
Josh
insurance.
McCown's hurt again. All right, well, who's behind him?
Yeah, right.
That's what we're used to.
Luke
you know?
and his 10 brothers.
It's nice to have a quarterback that would hurt to lose.
Yeah, that you would really cry real man tears over. Let's just, you know what? From here on, let's not talk about hypothetical injuries.
Yes.
to
Thank
Deshaun
you.
Watson,
Thank you.
because
Hey, chat, we sorry.
Thank
I'm
you
not
for
taking that
the
as
insert.
reality.
Oh, the insert. You know there's
He didn't even drive him to the curb.
By the way,
not even to the curb.
You know there's some like scout, the guy who thinks he's a scout Browns fan right now going, he's got good fluid hips still. He's got a good wiggle. I like his
Nice swag.
nice swag. I
like his
that.
gait.
He's got a good gait.
Yeah.
Honestly,
There's no.
he's ready to go.
You
He's
never
ready
know.
to go.
You never know he tore his ACL.
Exactly.
That was Jeff Shadell's column in the paper this morning.
This guy. That's his stick.
Jeff, I
He
love
just
you,
calls
Jeff.
everybody.
I know you're watching.
I know. Yeah, Bull's killing everybody.
Everybody, bro.
Okay, let's move on. And by the way, if we get any whiff of news, because now
Yeah.
we're starving for anything on this, we'll be sure that we pass it along to you. And we've got 18 people. I think we just increased the staff. 18 people are looking and refreshing all kinds of Twitter accounts nonstop throughout our
And we have an
program.
interview coming up with the kid who's driving that golf cart. He's going to tell us how everything went.
What did he say as he exited the car?
We're going to hear everything, man. We're going to get to the bottom of all this Watson news.
I just want to know where he was going. I know it was to take a picture, but like why?
Yeah.
You couldn't take the picture on the other side of the street?
Yeah, it's very strange.
Did you want the facility in the background?
It's poor. It doesn't speak much for, I guess, the head office and the organization. The fact that we didn't.
Can we
map
build
that
a
out better.
bridge? Can
Yeah.
we build a
Build a
bridge?
bridge for
Build
the
a
man.
freaking bridge to this place so Deshaun Watson, the
Doesn't-
$250 million quarterback, is not walking across the street.
Doesn't have to be
What
dodging.
the hell is happening?
He's dodging Dodge caravans while he's trying to cross the street. That's not good,
And if at the very least, Peter John Baptiste should be carrying him across the street.
right?
Or at least walking in front of him to shield him from any cars.
Yes.
Can you imagine being the driver of one of those cars, though?
Yep.
Because you know, they'd be like, oh, look, there's a Browns player, because you know where you are.
Yeah,
You're
right.
Like, no, that's not a Browns player. That's freaking Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
No, it's not. The people were slamming on the brakes. It is Deshaun Watson.
I will say this. I love the way they do training camps. I love the fact that the training camp is in the back of like a suburban neighborhood. Like,
It is.
Yeah, I think that's
like,
awesome.
I think it's so cool.
I love
Like
it.
you see people back there cutting their grass.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just
Yeah.
like crazy.
Do you
man.
remember a couple years ago they tried to float it out that they were going to put it in Columbus?
Oh yeah, I heard.
And they
that.
really
God.
did. And they floated it. You know they wanted to move it there too to try and expand the base, and they thought they'd get more people and stuff. And they already have us.
Yeah, yeah.
And people went ape.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
that's-
they thought that's a perfect example though of them being out of touch and not understanding the fan base. Is them thinking nobody will care. It's just training camp. We'll put it down in Columbus. And we're just like, you're gonna what?
Didn't
The
they do a
people,
scrimmage
I mean,
down
it's
there?
such a great experience. I've spent a ton of time in Berea at
Yeah.
training camp, and it is so great. The fans are on top of the players. I
Yeah.
mean, the fans have so much fun.
There are fans that can't afford tickets to a game, and
No,
that's the
exactly.
only
That might be their
chance they
only
get
chance
to
they
see
can
I
them
know,
up
it's
close and
great, and the
personal.
players usually sign autographs, and the interaction and the experience for the fans is amazing.
And what's
Also-
funny is a guy can make a okay to above average catch. The place erupts like it was a game-winning
Nuts.
touchdown.
Yeah.
And it's practice.
We're like, that's the new Terrell Owens. As soon as we see that, what's his name? What is that guy's name? He's from Mount Union.
You know he's telling his wife. He's like,
Yep.
hey, that guy over there.
Yeah. Watch his footwork. Watch his footwork.
She's over there like, yeah, honey.
The other thing was, especially
He's awesome.
especially over the past 20 or so years, training camp was like that was our time of most hope too.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, and
We were
it
in
was-
first place.
Yes, so we could always pretend we're like maybe Charlie Fry can do this. Like you could really convince yourself of that at that point in the season every year.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they didn't take it away from us. I'd be furious.
Yeah, no, I don't think that'll ever happen.
No.
You know, that'll happen after they take orange out of the uniform scheme.
Yeah, that ain't never
That'll
going
never
nowhere.
happen either.
Speaking of terrible uniforms, can I sidebar us for a second?
Yes,
because
you can.
Were
how
we ever
awful
on
the-
a bar?
Did
No.
you talk about
Okay.
helmets yesterday?
No. Did we? Uniform.
We did not talk about helmets.
Oh, Anthony did top 5 best city basketball uniforms.
Oh, okay.
And he made terrible choices. But how awful were those Red Sox uniforms last night?
You know, I was watching the game and my wife said, "What the hell is this? Yellow and blue?
I've
How
never
did that
seen
ever
those.
become a thing
It's
for the Red
the-
Sox?"
Just to give you a little context, those were the colors of the Boston Strong movement after the marathon bombing, which is
But
it's
who
an
knew
homage
that?
to them. I don't know why they decided to go with that for the city edition uniforms, but that is where that color scheme comes
Wow.
from.
Yeah, well, it's awful. Wow.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's obvious about selling jerseys.
Right.
You know, everybody, the fans.
That's kinda
see it, they're like,
gross.
I gotta have that yellow one. I don't have that one. I got 19, but I don't have that.
I don't have that
Right.
tragedy-based one. Ugh, gross. I mean, that's gross. It's
Yeah,
kinda
it is kinda
cynical,
sad.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we like to forget about tragedies. We don't like to be reminded of them.
Yeah. You think that's okay? You think it's okay? I think it's
He
wrong.
said the tragedy.
Yeah.
Tragedy-based. So each team will have a tragedy-based uniform.
Yep.
What would Cleveland's be?
Oh, where do we start?
Flames. No, it would be Flames from the
This
Burning
could be a full
Cuyahoga.
topic another day. Let's save that.
All right. Listen,
Cleveland
that
Burning
could be a fun
Cuyahogas.
topic,
That
actually.
would be.
Our
Could you
tragedy
imagine
based.
the uniform?
Bottlegate.
Driftwood. Pictures of driftwood on fire.
We do have to talk about at some point Balloon Fest, and I will if you guys aren't familiar with it.
Listen, the piece that you did that ran on What's New
Yeah.
is worthy of running
We should run again, yeah.
on this.
So,
Mike,
quick summary.
Yeah.
It was in the 80s, it was for the United Way or something, and they tried to break a world record as far as how many balloons you could put into the air at the same time. Not thinking of the horrible ecological disasters, not thinking about where these balloons might go. Needless to say, it didn't end well, and next week we'll share that piece.
It's
that,
a great
piece. It's like
story.
it's a little learning mechanism.
it's something
for you
that
guys.
all Clevelanders should know about.
Yes.
I remember it when it happened, but I never really, it was pre-internet.
Yeah, right.
I didn't dive.
No.
You couldn't dive into it to find out more
I had to
about
f-
it.
the- I had
but
to
you
f-
really educated us.
I had to
on it.
find I had to go weird places to find tape for that.
You
So,
got it.
too.
You had interviews.
Yeah.
From when
people-
it happened.
He went
Yeah.
to adult bookstores.
Went to
and
adult-
he went to all
anywhere I
kinds
had
of
to go.
places.
Why don't people learn from their past? Like, hey, let's do the Hindenburg Classic.
Pretty much.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
like every
what could go
balloon up
wrong?
in the world.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. It didn't go as planned.
no, it did not
was
go
an abject failure.
That's
It's
a tease.
disaster. Okay, let's move on to which offensive player we think needs Deshaun Watson most. So when you look at the cast of characters that are on this offense,
Yeah.
Bull, who do you think is going to miss him most?
It's easy, and it's a guy who had his rookie season destroyed by our former quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and that's Anthony Schwartz. Anthony
it's an
Schwartz.
interesting choice.
We see, it's easy to write off Anthony Schwartz because he was terrible as a rookie, right? But we knew coming in when they drafted him in the third round. This guy was not a seventh-round pick. He was a third-round pick.
Based on speed.
Based on speed. And what we knew about him was he had a long way to go as a player. He was a raw prospect with great raw athletic ability. Now, what does that mean? It means that his strength, if he has one, is the ability to go downfield, right, and the deep throw. Well, if I've got Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, I'm not chucking the ball downfield.
Right.
I'm being conservative with my throws. I'm running the football. I'm not taking the deep shots. But what did Deshaun Watson do in Houston when he had a healthy Will Fuller? He took deep shots. Now, maybe Anthony Schwartz will never be as good as Will Fuller. I don't know. But
Let's not set the bar that high because that's
Right.
a ridiculous bar.
Right, but that's what you drafted him for,
Right.
to get those deep shots, to be that kind of
Or
player.
at least take the top off of defense so things will open up
Yes.
in the middle.
And if there's any hope of that happening, it's going to happen with Watson and not with Brissett.
That's a really interesting selection. We're going to talk more about Schwartz and his comments on Baker Mayfield right after this topic. But I can see your point. For a guy like that to reach his full potential, he has to have a quarterback that can take advantage of his
That's right.
top-end speed.
Yeah.
And Baker clearly couldn't hit him deep. I don't know that there were I didn't see a lot of tape last year where I was saying, oh my God, he's wide open.
No.
So it might have been a little presumptuous by Schwartz to say it's Baker's fault, but
Well, he blamed Baker. He didn't really blame. He blamed. He more. Well, we'll get into it in a second.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But my point was, I didn't see a lot of the Catch-22 tape where
No.
he was just running free and,
No.
and Baker just couldn't get him the ball.
I think last year with Schwartz, I think it was a little bit of a Stefanski thing too. When you watch Kansas City, right? Kansas City has guys, and they'll say, "You're the Tyreek Hill. You're a guy that's gonna get jet motion. You're gonna get orbit
Right.
motion. You're gonna do reverses. You're gonna do all the quick bubble stuff." And usually when you talk about an offense that is lining up in 2 or 3 tight ends, that's just not part of your game plan.
That's
Right.
not. It's
Well,
not.
there's going to be a lot less of that this year, I
We
assume.
hope. We hope.
Yeah. Who's your player, though?
Oh, this is easy. David Njoku. Listen, they gave him a bag of money, a top 5 bag of money, based on his raw ability and what his potential could be with Deshaun Watson. So when we look at it in terms of red zone targets, right? when you're in the red zone, one of the things that I think the Browns are going to be really good this year as far as the red zone is because as a defensive player, you have to stop one of 3 or 4 things, right? If you don't have a running quarterback and a traditional drop back quarterback, I don't have to worry about anything. It was read options. I don't have to worry about any bootlegs. I don't have to worry about no scrambles or anything like that. So now that you got Deshaun Watson, that yardage is dangerous. He can run all 3 of those things plus RPOs. He's going to be a focal part of what they want to do. Then you talk about the 2 running backs. You have 2 running backs where you just can't line up and just put everybody in the box with the running backs. So now you have to say, I got to stop Chubb or Hunt and Deshaun Watson. And now I have a guy in Amari Cooper who is a surgeon down there as far as his footwork and catching the football. When you watch some of his pivot routes, some of his slant routes, and how he sets his defender up on the goal line, he's one of the best to do it down in those little short areas. But then David Njoku, now you got to think of it like this. Hey, you're going to be getting singled up by a linebacker. They can't afford to devote too much attention to you. Because if you ask me, who do I need to stop? Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, or Amari Cooper?
Yes.
Yes. So they're going to have David Njoku one-on-one with a safety, sometimes a linebacker. And I think one of the things that Deshaun Watson can do so well is scramble, reposition. He throws a very catchable ball in the end zone. And I think one of the things that always disappointed me about Baker was the fact that when we would run fades down on the goal line, I would just be like, bro, that's a punt. We might as well get the field goal team out because sometimes there was OBJ, didn't matter, and Njoku, it didn't matter. We just couldn't get on the same page because he was just throw the ball out of bounds. You got to give a guy a chance to catch it. But I seriously believe that David Njoku needs Deshaun Watson if he's going to live up to that contract.
And I agree. That was mine as well as David Njoku, but I think it's most obvious they invested in him, assuming we're all baffled by that investment, obviously, but it only makes sense if that you think of them as doing it because they assume that he's going to have this quarterback throwing to him. And I also think that he's going to be relied upon more than he might otherwise because of the relative lack of depth at wide receiver. But I'll argue Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'll go to the law firm just for this segment right now because I think that it is incredibly important to him that he plays. Because I don't think he's elite necessarily, but you know what an elite quarterback can make an average wide receiver look like. Do you guys think, and no offense to my fellow Kent State alum, Julian Edelman, but do you think that he'd have had the career that he had without Tom Brady throwing?
You can name 7 or 8 guys.
You know what I mean?
Certainly not.
That actually became free agents and went to other teams and made a boatload of money. And 3 games in, the general manager and the coach were saying, like, what the hell did we pay this guy
Danny
for?
Amendola is dead.
Right.
Yeah, but Brady made all of those guys better.
Just to counter the argument on Njoku, I don't think Njoku's going to actually be hurt by Jacoby Brissett because Jacoby Brissett, unlike Watson, who is immensely talented, and Baker, who is more talented than Jacoby Brissett, but thinks he's even better than he is, Jacoby Brissett, I'm confident, knows who he is in the NFL. Is that
and
fair
won't try
to say?
to force things.
Right. Number 2, Jacoby doesn't make things happen with his legs. He's not he's not a terrible athlete, but he's not a runner. He's not Watson. He's not getting out of there and taking off. So I think if he's under pressure, if it's a short situation, and he's got to get rid of the ball quickly, and especially with Brissett, the defense is going to be even more focused on the Browns' running game with Brissett out there. So I think the running backs will be under more pressure, and I think there'll be a lot of times when Njoku will be the safety valve, and Brissett will take advantage of it.
And tight ends often are the safety valve in offenses, and particularly
Yes.
Stefanski's, and we know how much Stefanski likes to lean on the tight
Yes.
end. So I agree with you that we should see a banner year from Njoku no matter who the quarterback is. And I don't know that you can say that for anybody else. And you guys are going to kill me for this, and this is the biggest cop-out answer I've ever given. I know.
Are you going to say Jacoby Brissett?
I'm putting the target on my chest. Right? No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm putting the target on my chest before I give you the answer. But I thought about this. I really did. I thought about it. I went from one player to the other, and now I'm listening to you guys. We heard 4 different names mentioned. So here's the right answer. You guys are all partially right.
Great.
The right answer is everybody.
Oh,
It is bull.
Come on now.
Is
Well,
Chubb,
sure.
not,
Yeah,
is
that's
Chubb
true.
not going to benefit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody will. Yeah.
Everybody will.
Every single player on this roster. Now, I know the question was who most benefits.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that you're trying to measure the immeasurable there because you don't know what someone's going to be between Brissett and between Deshaun until you see it. I just think that every single skills position player on this team is going to be markedly better when number 4 is under center. To your point.
It is true and a cop-out at the same time.
So guess what?
It is. It's a cop-out. It's a bad answer.
Jay is on board with the 1,400 by Nick Chubb. He's also on board with the 900 from Njoku.
I am.
He is also on board with the 900 from Kareem Hunt. This is a banner year.
Only if we get Deshaun Watson for at least double-digit games.
Yes. Okay.
If we get Deshaun Watson for 8 or 6 or anything less than 10, I'm not on board with those numbers. Those numbers are ridiculous. I love those numbers, and I hit my knees every night and pray for those numbers.
Yeah.
But I really do think that, and that's what good quarterbacks do, right? The superior quarterbacks in this league are paid what they're paid because Njoku's going to give you more production. Chubb's going to give you more production. Hunt's going to give you more production. And you touched on it, and it's very simple as to why. The reason Deshaun Watson is paid what he's paid is because he checks all the boxes on the things that he can do. Tom Brady can't move.
Right.
Tom Brady can make everybody better, but when you're preparing to play Tom Brady, his kryptonite is his lack of mobility. So teams start to game plan there. Where the hell do you start to game plan for Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
He will get out on the edge and beat you. He can RPO and read things very quickly. His decision-making has always been right and quick. He's got the physical skill set to throw it. He's got the physical skill set to run it. And he's got the tools around him. So for me, I think everybody benefits greatly when number 4 is in there. And I don't know that I can tell you definitively that one player will benefit more over everybody else.
One more point for Donovan Peoples for the law firm, though, and my assertion that he is the one who would benefit the most. There's a good chance that he might disappear and we'll never hear of him
You're
again.
right.
If that quarterback doesn't play with him this year, he's one of those players that could just completely fall off and we might never see again.
Yeah.
But if Watson comes in and Schwartz is still on a rookie contract and Njoku's paid for all of eternity now, whereas with Peoples-Jones, this is a really make or break year for him, I feel like.
He becomes Greg Little real quickly.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
He's the one whose meal ticket next year is
But we agree that I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and say, for instance, he's out here playing and he just clicks, right? He's playing with Watson. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out a career year.
100%. I could totally see that, especially with not all the.
Anything's on the table. Anybody could have success with a great quarterback.
Yeah. And without him, anybody can fail miserably.
But it's the people who are on the periphery, like those people who are on the border, that benefit the most. I feel even more than stars can be stars in more places than one. You got to be in the right situation, and I feel like he's that player.
Yeah,
like who could really use that.
He probably does need him most for his future in the NFL. Chubb isn't going away.
No.
Hunt isn't going away. All these, Njoku and Cooper, those guys they're solid.
Yep.
But to your point of the periphery guys who really haven't shined yet, they haven't done anything yet to prove they belong. They desperately need 4 out there so they can put up some numbers. All right, we talked briefly. We touched on the Schwartz comments. McNuggets, if we can, and Steve, let's put those on the screen so people can sort of digest what was said. Schwartz was doing an interview with Mary Kay Cabot. And here's
this
what
is
he
the
had to
lead,
say.
by the way. This is not what Schwartz said. This was Mary Kay Cabot's lead to her story.
Oh, I thought you were pulling his quotes.
I
Okay.
did. We got
We'll
two
have
quotes.
those too, yeah.
Okay.
But this is the lead because I think it's worth reading. Would you like me to read it?
Yeah,
Jay,
please
do you
go
wanna
ahead.
read it? This was from Mary Kay's column directly. This is the lead of the story. Anthony Schwartz, the Browns' 2021 third-round receiver out of Auburn, spent his entire rookie season incurring the wrath of the Baker Bros and trying to shake the rap as the guy who caused Mayfield's shoulder injury when he stopped on his deep route in Week 2. She says Baker Bros.
I love that Mary Kay is using a term that I created. I actually don't know that I created it, but I probably used it the most often.
Here's my thing, though.
Love it.
I don't think that's true. The wrath of Baker Bros. When I first read this, I thought, wow, I must have been in like a 4 or 6 week coma last year. I missed that storyline.
Think about the intensity.
I don't ever remember anybody trying to vilify Anthony Schwartz for the injury. I don't.
She gets a lot more correspondence than we do, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Like she gets constantly people emailing her.
Okay, yeah, that's true. She's saying that. Yes.
I didn't hear it much.
It's her words.
Right.
I don't remember that ever being a dominant storyline where anybody was saying it's Schwartz's fault. If you watch that play, you can argue or not that Schwartz stopped on the route and that led to the interception. That happens all the time in the NFL.
Yeah,
right.
And that happened, and I think in the body of the article and during the interview, Schwartz even fell on that sword.
Here's the quote. Do you want to hear it?
Read that quote for
Let's
context.
take it, Steve. This is Anthony Schwartz. This is not Mary Kay. This is Anthony Schwartz. It mainly bothered me because I kind of felt like some people were trying to blame me for something.
This is not what's up on the screen.
Yeah, you got something else up there.
Steve, go back one. This is no, Schwartz
He
one.
says in this
You
one, that's
skipped
one of the plays from last year I wish I could take back.
Right.
I think
Here we go. We just had him backwards.
he
Here it is.
understands what he did.
It mainly bothered me because I kind of felt like some people were trying to blame me for something when we both did something wrong on that play. I didn't finish the play, and I don't think he made the right read, but we were both wrong, and unfortunately, it ended up
Okay,
like
so
that.
keep that up, and let's sort of parse that out a little bit. It mainly bothered me because I kind of, so he's not even like, he's just sort of tepidly in on that, felt like people were trying to blame me for something when we both did something wrong. I just don't remember that ever
There was
being
no
a huge
backlash from the
narrative.
media. Mary Kay's probably talking to when she says the Baker Bros, she's not really, I call some people in the media Baker Bros, but really it's about the fans.
But do you remember that being
I don't remember that. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It was a while ago. I don't
could there
remember.
have been 2 or 3 fans? Yeah, there were 2 or 3 fans that
remember
burned
people-
LeBron jerseys, and
Yeah.
we all got negatively tattooed as, you burned LeBron's jersey.
True,
No,
that's true.
A couple of idiots did, but not. So I don't
knew those
remember
idiots,
that
by the
being
way.
this prevalent storyline from last
I don't remember
year.
it being that.
It was Baker's fault 100%, and I don't think anybody has ever argued that.
Here's what that is. It was a rookie comment, right? Have you ever noticed why when you were younger it just seems like school was like 10 years long? One year was like, oh my
forever.
God, I remember everything. And I always wonder why you got nostalgia and you just felt like everything was so more deep and in depth and you remember it like it was crazy. But as you get older, guess what? The years start to go faster, faster, faster. And so I watched this guy, psychologist, say, you know what? When you're younger and you're 9 years old, 1 year is 1/9 of your life.
Right.
So it's
a lot.
pretty big.
Yeah.
By the time you get to be 41, 1 year is 1/41 or 42nd of your life. So when you're Anthony Schwartz and you got 10 receptions, you aren't really in a game like that. Your opportunities when you get in the game, that play is magnified because he didn't play that much.
Right.
It's huge to him. He's like, everybody else is like, hey, dog, I played 6 years. That's not a big thing.
Yeah, it's one play, let it go.
To him, it's the biggest thing. That was his season in a nutshell, even though the outside people
But I
aren't
don't
really
like
talking
him.
about
I don't
that.
like him using this fake torrent of criticism on him for why he had a bad season, because I don't think that's completely truthful. I don't remember anybody saying we got to deal Schwartz because he got our quarterback.
No, we all were down on him.
Baker was to blame.
Yes.
Baker, look, interceptions happen. Rodgers throws them. Brady throws them. With the exception of Brett Favre and like Superman type physical specimens that just love to play to contact, quarterbacks pretty much get the drill. You throw the interception, you get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And Baker's decision to go after the ball carrier and that was on him. And I think he would tell you that he made a mistake doing that.
Anthony Schwartz. Look, and I talked to Anthony Schwartz. Put the camera on me here for a second. Anthony, you should be proud if people blame you. You have saved the Cleveland Browns franchise. Because of that injury, the Browns now have Deshaun Watson. If Baker had not gotten hurt, he probably would have played decently last year. And the Browns would have settled for the mediocrity that they had and would have stuck with them, and the Browns would be stuck in mediocrity behind 10 teams with significantly better quarterbacks. Instead, they went out, got aggressive, and got Deshaun Watson. And you have saved the day, Anthony Schwartz.
So wear
I
it like a
blame
badge
you.
of honor.
But
yes.
you know where that comes from, him feeling, wronged or whatever, is we're not in his Twitter mentions the way that he is. The man's got a Twitter account.
Yeah.
I believe I follow him. And if you think that the Baker Bros were gentle on him, or
they
they said,
probably
let's give him the
ripped him,
benefit of the
whatever.
And when you're a 20-year-old kid, you magnify all the meaning of those sorts
We
of
all
things.
do it.
Yeah.
Guys, I get hundreds of tweets at me, like especially if I say something controversial on Twitter, right? And I could get 500 comments from people telling me they love me, you're right, blah, blah, blah. And then you get 5 where people say, you're a D-bag, go die, you fat bastard, whatever they say. And those things will sometimes stick with me. I've kind of gotten over that, but it used to really stick with me.
Well, you're a grown man. I can understand Schwartz. He's a young kid.
Yeah.
And I think the younger you are, the more you live in this fictitious world.
Right.
Don't do that.
I don't anymore, but it used to affect me.
Good.
It used to affect me.
And here's the thing. Like, you're right. We're not in his mentions. Again, where is the positive? how can anybody ever tell me that social media has made me a better football player? I think Andrew Luck's angle on this was the smartest approach I've ever heard by anybody. He doesn't have social media. Mm-hmm. How does that make me a better football player? Everything I do, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, is centered around the idea that I'm going to become a better football player today than I was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If someone can show me how having a social media account will do that, then I'll sign up. Right. But please, Anthony, I'm sure his mentions were probably filled with people that were like, it's your fault, bro.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's got to be smart enough to understand that unless one of these pieces of criticism goes viral and gets 1,000 likes, it's one dude in his mom's basement who's mad that he's not in your shoes as a wide receiver.
Right.
So don't bother with it.
Yeah,
it drives me nuts.
I know we're bringing in
Aditi.
Aditi.
If I was a coach, it would drive me nuts.
I know we're bringing in Aditi. One other thing in the article that I wanted to mention real quick as we bring Aditi in was that later it does talk about, and I can't remember now if she brought it up, Mary Kay, or if Anthony Schwartz brought it up himself, basically that Baker wasn't looking for him the rest of the year. That they felt that Baker lost confidence in him. And Schwartz said, hey, listen, I don't blame him. You know, it was partly my fault too.
Right.
But that Baker never really targeted him much. Because in that first game, he actually had a good game.
But that happens sometimes.
And I want to ask Aditi about that compared to what some of the Steelers have done in the past.
Yeah, let's bring Aditi in now.
Yeah, they've had some social media issues.
And whenever we bring in a guest, they're joined by us through the Gridiron Guys hotline. Looking for a local roofer you can trust. Family owned since 2003, the Gridiron Guys have grown to become Northeast Ohio's top-rated roofers. We exemplify quality work practices and are a valued resource for homeowners and offer a 10-year workmanship warranty. Call 330-753-7967 today for a free estimate or roof inspection.
Gridiron Guys.
Boom.
Do we need like a music bed under
We'll get a music bed under it.
to kind of make it even better?
Absolutely.
We'll hit the studio. Yeah. We'll get that.
Let's go.
We'll crank that out for you.
Let's get it working.
Hey, Aditi, how are you?
Good morning, guys. I know. Does Adam do that for every Gridiron Guys guest or only when I come on?
No, it's
all of them.
Every
I do it
single
for everyone.
time.
Yeah. It's
a little more energy when you're on, but I do them for all.
All right, good.
You know, Aditi,
Good to hear that.
we over here talking about quarterbacks and relationships, Baker and Schwartz. I remember Ben Roethlisberger having his issues with Antonio Brown. And sometimes, you know, they started off on one foot and then they went to another and he became a star. And Antonio Brown has done interviews that said, you know, Ben Roethlisberger had to go to some of the coordinators and say, hey, Antonio Brown should be playing more because I believe in him. Do you believe that, you know, it's imperative that your quarterback has to believe in you? And sometimes they can lose a little, lose a little faith in you, as in Schwartz not running a route in the beginning as a rookie.
Well, I don't think that there's any question about that. And even before we get to Ben and Antonio, which I think that's a great microcosm or a great example of so many things in a quarterback-receiver relationship that can go right and can go wrong. But let's go back to what you were saying about Baker perhaps not trusting Schwartz after he quit on that route or after he perhaps didn't fully complete that route. All of the best quarterbacks that I've ever seen, when something like that happens, they immediately go back to that receiver just to help rebuild that receiver's confidence and to show I have trust and faith in you. And I'll say that that's something that I saw Ben Roethlisberger do, especially in the last 5-6 years of his career. You know, Chase Claypool would drop a ball, Ben would go right back to him. And I still remember about 5 years ago asking him about this. And he's like, what good is the receiver to me if he doesn't have confidence and if I can't trust in him? And what's the quickest way to get that back? The same way that we say a quarterback needs to have a short-term memory, sometimes a receiver does too. And you're just as good as your last play. So give him a chance to have another great play. So I don't love the idea that Schwartz thought he was penalized for the rest of the season and never had the opportunity to go and talk to Baker and say, hey, man, I know I let you down on that one play, but please come back to me and I'll make it worth your while. Or let me have a chance to regain your trust. I think that that's vitally important. As for Ben and Antonio, which direction do we want to go in?
Oh, God.
And it's funny, I'll say this because, you know what, I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday. There's a university that is bringing me in to talk to the team's football players about how the media doesn't always have to be a bad guy and how you can use the media and how you can be smarter in the media and to have that whole conversation. And one of the things that actually came up in this conversation I had yesterday is how Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown were the single most magical connection that I have covered in more than a dozen years, 13, 14 years of covering the National Football League. I've never seen two receivers be more on the same page, create more magic, I'll use that word again, than the two of them. And even Roethlisberger said to me once that of all the great receivers that he's played with, Hines Ward and Plexico Burress and Santonio Holmes and Jericho Cotchery and Mike Wallace and Emmanuel Sanders, he said there was just something different with Antonio Brown. It was the way the two of them could improvise together, the way that they could read each other's minds, the way that Ben would throw the ball to Antonio Brown when he was triple teamed and he had no business throwing him the ball. But he knew that somehow Antonio would come down with the ball. The way that Antonio could break off a route and just find an open space and expect that Ben would find him in that open space, even though that wasn't what was prescribed when the play began. All of that went sour. All of that went sour when there was a Denver Broncos game that ended with Ben Roethlisberger throwing an interception in the end zone and then going on the radio and saying he never expected Marquise Pouncey to push a defensive lineman that deep into the end zone, that AB didn't run the route exactly as he wanted him to run the route, and perhaps he should have just thrown the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster. So in Ben's mind, he was being about as honest as he could have been, talking about the way that he viewed the play. In Antonio's mind, he felt you're calling a grown man out on the radio. And after that, they just never saw eye to eye in the same way. And it was a fissure. And again, what was the most amazing relationship? So to go back to where you started this whole conversation, G, how important do I think it is that the quarterback and the receiver get on the same page and get along and build some sort of rapport? I think it's everything. I think it's really, truly everything. I think Jamar Chase is a great receiver, but I think he's better because of the rapport that he has with Joe Burrow. And I think that he makes Burrow better.
100%. They make each other better, and their chemistry makes them both better. There's no doubt about it. Aditi, another conversation we were having in really the same vein is what skill position player is most negatively affected by Deshaun Watson missing games? Jay had the cop-out answer of everybody, which is true. It is everybody.
But it's fair.
But we're asking for the best. G went with David Njoku. Mike went with Donovan Peoples-Jones. I went with Anthony Schwartz being most negatively affected. We're just throwing the question at you, so it might be a little tricky to nail an answer right away. But who do you think? What was your first thought with who's most negatively affected with Brissett as opposed to Watson?
Well, again, going back to this idea of building chemistry and building reps, David Njoku right now is being paid like he's the number 2 receiving option, right? Like, yes. I think that if you are paid that amount of money, you're expected to come up big in the red zone just in general, you're expected to come up big. And David Njoku has never had a season with anyone where he particularly came up looking like the number 2 reliable security blanket option, red zone threat, whatever you want to say. So he has to build that chemistry with his starting quarterback to essentially justify filling that role. And so that piece, I think, is a little bit hard because it's twofold. It's you need to build that chemistry with a new quarterback, and because you've never done it with any quarterback.
Right.
You know, I think that Amari Cooper, we're all expecting to be the number 1 receiver, and there's a bit that we expect him to be able to work with anyone. However, the offensive line obviously is so good and is so tough that it shouldn't really matter who's back there. I think that they'll be okay. I think that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt have proven that they can play with whomever, whenever. So, yeah, I think I have to agree. That was G or Mike who said Njoku. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
G. Bush said Njoku.
G said
yeah, G, I think I have to go. I think I have to ride with you on that one.
Come back on fire.
I thought my answer was all-inclusive. I thought my answer nailed it, Aditi. But
You didn't like Jay's answer? I love all my kids equally.
They pin you in a corner and they ask you for one. I mean, what's the answer, Jeff?
Right.
Yeah,
Get off the
everybody's
fence.
Obey the exercise.
Aditi, you're right, and I've never taken that big of a cop-out before, but I'm telling you, as I was going through the offense and all the different moving parts and all of the guys, I really said, well, yeah, this player benefits greatly. This player benefits greatly. And at the end of the day, I went across all the skills players, and I'm like, they all need them. We all need them.
Right.
You know, and so I know it's a stupid cop-out answer, but I'm going to stick
It's
to
not,
it.
but you know what, Jerry? It also speaks to the leadership of the team, right? Like, how do you lead if you're not the starter? And I think that Deshaun Watson has already come in and in organizing these trips outside of Berea and gathering guys to throw separate of prescribed practice sessions, he's showing that he is ready to take ownership of this team, to take ownership of this offense. But if he's not there for 8 weeks, how does he do that?
Yeah,
if he's not
that's
there
hard.
for 12 weeks, how does he do that? If he's just not there for 2 weeks, then is Jacoby Brissett a placeholder for 2 weeks? Or does Josh Rosen beat out Jacoby Brissett? You know, like, I just think that there's a lot of questions that pertain to the role that Deshaun Watson fills that go even beyond the role that he fills in the offense.
Yeah, and I think that can be said of all the great quarterbacks. Obviously, that they all need to lead. And I think we have seen some really nice leadership traits out of Deshaun Watson so far. Hopefully, we'll be able to see those on the field instead of just, you know, away from the field with the trips and everything that you mentioned. But I just, you know, we so desperately want to see this guy in real meaningful action. Did you see the video of him crossing the street yesterday?
We have that video. I wanted
Did
Aditi
you
to
see
see
that?
it.
We would like your analysis
What
of
the
this.
hell's going on here?
What do
Tell
you
us.
think this says? Tell us what this says about his.
Has she seen it already? Have you seen it?
No.
Or is this the first time? Here we go. There's
Oh,
Peter.
TJ.
Melinda Adams shot this video. I know Melinda.
Okay, good
That's
job,
Watson
Melinda.
now walking across the street. They couldn't take him in the golf cart, Aditi.
What do you see in there, Aditi? Do you think he's ready for the season?
Well, you know, he's looking both ways. He's not just trusting PJB to look both
Exactly.
ways. Peter
Just
knows
wearing
that
a helmet, too.
Checks his reads.
Yeah. Like,
Yep.
you saw him turn. That's how we teach our kids, right? You make sure before you cross the
Good
street.
soft
Wait a
swivel.
You're
second,
not
Aditi.
looking back.
Aditi, wait a second. Wait for it. Here's Tony Grossi trying to take him out.
Now,
Nobody even stops and honks. Nobody
no.
even waves. Do they just not realize what's
How
going on?
embarrassing is that for the Browns?
Now I
Aditi?
do need to say this. He should watch out because technically he didn't cross at a crosswalk.
That's true.
And that could be breaking the league's conduct policy. He might want to chill
Yep.
out. We
You
don't
know,
want
Jaywalking,
I'm
get
going
you
to
2
admit
games?
right now, since Adam told the whole ham story and copped to the fact that he once ate ham in a grocery store without paying for it,
Yeah.
I have crossed the street exactly there at least, I don't know, 1,000 times in the last
Right.
10
Me
years.
too.
I have not
Me
used
too.
the crosswalk ever.
Marjorie
So-
Taylor is going to have us arrested. Marjorie Green Taylor is going to have us arrested for being too woke by crossing the street.
But
in the middle of the
Aditi,
street.
have you ever walked that walk in full uniform, helmet on, everything? I don't think you
no.
have.
No. But why is that? I mean, I wonder why why are they doing a photo shoot there?
We can't figure it
I don't
out.
know. I always thought that was some abandoned factory across the street there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, usually that's where I park. You
I'm
know,
actually
I
gonna
sat
ask
behind
Melinda
that
what the
building.
hell's
Hugh
going
Jackson once made me cry, and I didn't want anybody to see me cry, and I went and I sat behind that building.
Oh, Hugh Jackson was such a D-bag that day.
Aditi, let's get to the bottom of that. Aditi, what did he do? Did he tell
I
you?
was there that
Did
day.
he tell you he was going to come back and coach the next year?
Oh, he dirty.
What did he really say?
Mike, I love it. Let's move on.
Okay, never mind.
No,
No,
that was a
That's
brutal
a
day.
story for another day. Maybe when DeQuell is sharing his scotch with everybody, we'll
Right.
get into that.
There we go.
Aditi, all right, go ahead, Mike.
That's the most riveting footage that we have of
Jay's
Deshaun
texting
right
Hugh
now.
Jackson right now. He's like, "You made Aditi cry?"
No,
Really?
I'm not. I'm actually asking Melinda, where the hell? Like, I want more of this story.
Of where he was going.
Where was
What
he
are
going?
they doing that?
Why
building?
the hell didn't they just drive him across the street in the golf cart? How embarrassing
Yeah,
of
but
a
see,
look was
Jay,
that?
I would have had a bigger problem if they'd driven him across the street in the golf cart. Like, it amazes me. You are a professional athlete. You can cross the street.
I know, but
You
he's
know,
in
like, the
football. He's
laziness
in
that you
football
see.
cleats. But he's in football cleats and he's walking on pavement. And as G. Bush accurately pointed out earlier, unless you've done that, it's a bit of an ice skating routine. Those things are slick. The last thing you want to do is have your $240 million quarterback slip on football cleats crossing a
Well,
highway.
that's a little bit weird too. Like, why wouldn't he just wear his flip-flops and put his cleats on for
I don't
the?
know. We have so many questions.
We do.
Seriously.
We have all these questions and no answers.
Yep.
Jay, if you
Yeah,
can get
but why-
Melinda
you
on,
shouldn't
we'll
ask
take her.
Melinda would
Melinda's
absolutely
the
come
ESPN
on.
producer. Ask PJB what exactly was going on there.
I don't
won't
think
give us a straight
He's not going
answer.
to tell us. Are you kidding?
I mean,
Well,
this
the
is amazing
organization
that
at this
training
time-
camp opens this week, and like this is what we're enraptured by, right?
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, why was Deshaun Watson crossing the street?
Aditi, what's today's date? And what the hell's
July
going on?
26th.
We've got nothing.
I mean,
We've
what
got
are we
nothing.
supposed to be taken by? The battle at defensive tackle?
The Steelers are reporting today, so there's
So who
that. The
cares?
Steelers are reporting to Latrobe. There is that.
By the
I
way-
am very curious to see how the reps break down for the Browns.
By
With
the way,
quarterbacks.
Aditi, speaking of the Steelers quarterback, did you see Mike Sando's? Do you know how Mike Sando from The Athletic does he polls 50 NFL executives and coaches for his quarterback
Right.
tiers list? There was no
Okay.
Steeler quarterback in the top 32. Did you see that?
Okay.
Really?
No, not one in the top 32. There's 32 teams. He didn't
So
make.
which team had two?
Sam Darnold was 32.
Oh, my
That's so
God.
funny.
And then
So
Mitch Trubisky was 33.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Now, I'm going to defend the Steelers here. I think Trubisky should be 32 ahead of Sam Darnold.
Wow.
Yeah,
Out on a limb.
that list is almost discounted because Darnold is 32.
32, yeah.
Adi, you almost just asked yourself a question because of us.
He might not even
and I
start.
appreciate that. So
Yeah.
why don't we go ahead and ask you the question that you were trying to set us up for?
Yes.
How do you think the reps will break down for the Browns in training camp, at least to start, before we get any news?
I'm still stuck on the whole Steelers thing. I mean,
Okay, go
I would
back.
take Mitch Trubisky over Kyle Wilson, I think. I mean, I'd take
take
Mitch Trubisky
Trubisky.
over quite a few quarterbacks, quite
I'd take-
frankly.
yeah.
I'd take Mitch Trubisky over Drew Lock. I'd
I
like
would
Mitch
too.
Trubisky over Drew Lock.
I'm with you.
Let me
Really
keep
fishing.
going.
There's at
I mean,
least
the
5 or
Steelers-
6 quarterbacks I would take him in front. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback once upon a time.
I-
And never had
I
any
mean,
pieces
So was
around
Andy
he's
him.
in
Dalton.
a situation where the offense suits him, where he's having a lot of input in the offense, where his teammates are behind him. I mean, I said this a few weeks ago. You're going to see the difference when a person is treated well. We are all affected by how we are treated. Mitch Trubisky is happy in Pittsburgh right now. He is being treated really well. Don't discount what Kenny Pickett can do. I still think it's a long shot for Kenny Pickett to start the season.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on now.
Aditi,
I
let me
feel
give you.
like it's so easy to rip on the Steelers. Oh,
Yeah.
we keep doing this. I know Mike is
Oh,
going to cry.
please.
I don't
Everybody in the media kisses the Steelers' ass for the last. Aditi, everybody's been kissing the Steelers' ass. They sent Benny Roethlisberger out like he was a conquering hero. Everybody's up in arms about Watson. Nobody said boo about Ben when he left town. The Steelers have had their ass kissed for years. It's okay if we in Cleveland take shots at them, so I'm going to do it. But listen,
Okay.
let me give you
Okay.
these. Let me give you these guys. You tell me. I'll give you the guys listed ahead of Trubisky real quick, and you tell me if you put Trubisky ahead of the guy. And I'll be fair too. I'll
Okay,
tell you
but-
mine.
Wait, but really quickly,
Yeah.
are we just saying in a vacuum or in the situation that they're in on the team that they're on?
In benefit to Trubisky, I'll say in the situation of the team they're on.
Okay.
I will go that way.
Well,
All right.
All right, 32 is Darnold. We all agree we'd rather have Trubisky, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're all in agreement there. 31, Mariota. I think I'd put Trubisky ahead of him too. What do you guys say?
I would
Yeah,
take
me
him.
too.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, number 30, the great Daniel Jones. What do you say about that?
Oh,
God.
come on. He should be.
Yeah,
How
I
is
think
he above
Trubisky over Daniel
Trubisky?
too.
I would take Trubisky as well. See, I'm not that much of a hater. 28, this is a tricky one because this guy's barely played. 29, Trey Lance. I would
knows?
take Trey Lance, even though Trubisky's
Upside.
better. Trey Lance at least has upside. I know what Trubisky is. He's a serviceable NFL player. I think I know what Trubisky is. I think he's a serviceable NFL player. I think at best he's Jimmy Garoppolo level. I think Trey Lance, who I'm not a total believer in, I think there's higher upside potentially than that. Is that unfair?
Okay, but you're using Jimmy Garoppolo as your example. And by the way, Trey Lance couldn't unseat Jimmy Garoppolo a year ago.
He couldn't. I don't believe in Trey Lance, but I would take the upside over Trubisky, who I feel has no upside. You obviously disagree.
I do think that he has upside.
Okay.
He's
Actually,
done
but
it.
you
He's
know
a
what? I'll
proven
be
commodity.
honest. The reason I think he has upside is because Brian Dable told me that we haven't seen everything that we could see out of him, and that he will impress us this year. And so I trust Brian Dable more than I trust my own eyes there.
So the
okay.
consensus is to put him ahead of Trey Lance.
If you had to win a game, I'm playing Trubisky.
I'd play Trubisky over Lance right now. Okay, fair. 28, Zack Wilson. I think Zack Wilson sucks, so I'll give you Trubisky
I
there.
think he's garbage.
We're all in
There's
agreement
Trubisky.
there.
Did I call Zack Wilson Kyle Wilson again early? I'm sorry.
might
if I
have, but
did
who
that.
cares?
Okay, we knew you were
You
talking
did.
about.
Until he's any good at
Okay.
football, you can call him whatever the
More
hell
than
you
he
want.
deserves.
Whatever.
What's his
27,
name?
Davis Mills. People in Houston actually think he can play quarterback.
Oh, wow.
He can't. I'd take Trubisky.
I take Trubisky over him too.
Sounds like Bull's getting on the Trubisky train.
Well, I'm getting into the 20s. That's not really saying much. 26,
Where is
Tua.
he from? He's from Mentor, Ohio, right? Don't you have to have
Mentor,
somebody
yeah.
who's from
Mentor
Ohio?
Cardinals. 26, Tua.
Boom.
It's a push.
No.
I think Tua stinks.
I would
Personally. But I think Trubisky's not very good. I think it's a wash.
I think it's a push.
Trubisky's from here. I'll put him ahead of Tua.
There you go.
Man, I just think you guys are so downplaying Trubisky. I really do.
Then why did nobody want him to start last year if he's that
He
good?
had trash around him in Chicago. When he went to
Yeah.
If
Buffalo,
that was the excuse, then why did nobody want him to be a starter last year?
look, I get that.
Yeah.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Aditi, I think Mitch had other opportunities. I think it was smart for him to go to Buffalo and sit there and learn under a really good offensive coordinator.
I don't think we're killing him.
It was
He's
a
better-
one-year
I don't think
deal.
we're killing him. We're putting him ahead of some of these guys.
I know, but I just think he's done so much more. What has Tua done in the league? What has he done?
But I said I put him ahead of Tua.
Yes, but I think someone said it was a push. Did you say it was a push?
It was
a push. I did say push,
So
but
if
in
you're
the end, I
starting
went
a
with him.
franchise right now and you can take Tua or you can take Mitch,
I don't want either of them.
I
But
don't
but if
either,
I
but
had to choose, I would guess
this
I'd
is
take
your
Mitch.
fake conversation,
It is.
not mine.
I know. Sorry. 25, Justin Fields. I'd take
I'm
Justin
taking
Fields.
Justin Fields.
I'll take Justin Fields.
Has a lot of potential. And I
right.
think with some good coaching and some good work.
Yeah.
I'd take
All right,
the
we're
next
getting
couple-
Yes.
The next couple of guys are Trevor Lawrence and Jameis Winston. I think those guys are both better. Jared Goff, I think they're all better. Maybe not Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is kind of.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to make excuses for Trubisky's situation, Jared Goff last year was on a terrible offense. Although I like DeAndre Swift a lot, so maybe it's not that terrible. What? Mitch Trubisky's in the mid-20s.
Jared Goff
There you
is
go.
all that. Would Sean McVay have moved on from him? I mean, he did go to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, and he moved on from him. So clearly, I mean, but I just think that there are the quarterbacks that elevate everybody else. There are the quarterbacks that lead their teams in every way. There are the Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Bradys, and they make everyone around them better.
Right.
And then there are quarterbacks that can be serviceable, that can be good enough, that don't screw things up for you, that are not a liability, and that you can win with if you have a strong team around them. And
I
I
will
think
say
that.
this. I'm
go-
sorry.
Go
So,
ahead.
but
No,
ultimately,
go
there's
ahead.
easily 20 quarterbacks better than Trubisky. Fair?
Whatever, but I thought the whole point here was that how is he not even on the list of 32?
Right. Hey,
yeah.
that's
point, too.
Seems to
That's
be a very
NFL
flawed point.
executives and coaches saying that, not me. NFL executives and coaches.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're-
but there's
well,
also
they're
in
clearly all
that list
geniuses.
NFL
Well, they're all
executives
cowards.
ripping Lamar Jackson, which happens every which way. And I mean,
Right.
enough.
Good point.
Enough.
Lamar Jackson.
So,
What?
okay, are we going back to Jacoby Brissett and
No, I got to go
Deshaun
back
Watson?
to Lamar Jackson because this
Oh,
idea
okay, go
that
ahead.
Lamar I'm bothered by this because I love Lamar Jackson and I think he's a very good player. But this idea in the media that some people have that Lamar Jackson should never be criticized is absurd. That every time he's criticized, people are killing him. I don't think that's fair.
That's not it. I
Yeah.
think it's this idea that at any other position, somebody can redefine the way the position is played. Troy Polamalu did not play safety like everybody else. Ryan Shazier did not play middle linebacker like everybody else. Those were seen as assets. You are playing a position, but you are not playing the position the same exact way that everybody else has ever played it. It just feels like at the position of quarterback, for Lamar Jackson, you can help your team win. You can guide your team to win. You can put points on the board, which is ultimately the point, winning and scoring points. But because Lamar Jackson doesn't do it like everybody else does it, it's open season on Lamar Jackson.
But why?
That he
but who's-
can't be good at the position. Just because he doesn't play like Aaron Rodgers doesn't mean he can't be a good quarterback. He's
But
just
Aditi,
a different quarterback.
I've heard a lot of people say, I've heard Ryan Clark say a lot of the same things you're saying, but I don't see anybody killing him. Even on this list of NFL executives and coaches, he comes at number 10. That's pretty high. I mean, who are we putting him over? 9 is Deshaun Watson. 8 is Russell Wilson. 7 is Matthew Stafford. 6 is Joe Burrow. I'm not taking Lamar Jackson over any of those guys.
I would take him over. I would take Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson.
What? Russell Wilson's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Let me give you this.
Come on now.
When Lamar Jackson is at the top of his game.
And that's the deal.
I
That's the
love
problem.
Lamar Jackson.
There's this and this.
I love him. He's helped me win 2 fantasy football championships. He's had 1 year as an elite player. Elite. One. Russell Wilson's had more than that.
I'm just telling you, if Lamar Jackson is on his game and he's healthy, he's unstoppable. Russell Wilson
in the playoffs, he hasn't been unstoppable.
I'm just saying, Russell Wilson is not unstoppable. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks that do a lot of things.
The problem with Lamar.
Hey guys, Aditi's got to run.
Sorry, Aditi, I'm sorry. I sidetracked us.
See what you did to us. See what
Aditi,
you
thank
did.
you. We love you.
I do love Lamar.
We're going to talk later, and hopefully I can come in and sit with you next week in
I
studio.
hope make it a point. Make it a
yes.
point.
Love
right.
you. See you later.
Sorry for you.
To wrap up the Lamar Jackson thing, and then we got to move on. I think the difference between Lamar Jackson is what we were talking about. His ceiling and his floor is separated by too much.
Yeah.
With Russell, you get what you get.
Yeah.
And he's a consistent star. For the last year, we saw Lamar Jackson that we didn't recognize.
Yeah.
And yes, he was hurt. But if
even
we're not going to use injury
2020,
for
he was
excuses,
good, but he wasn't special.
but he's still capable of changing and taking over any game.
Agreed.
And so
but I feel
some are hypnotized by that.
Yes.
And some can't forget the fact that he can also be bad Lamar.
Yeah.
And the difference between good and bad is
But here's
dramatic.
what bothers me is I feel like because Bill Polian, when he was drafted, made those idiotic statements that were stupid and came off as racist.
You think those are still bothering? That people still hear that?
I still feel like there are certain members of the media that you can't criticize Lamar at all because then you're a Bill Polian guy. And that's not fair.
No,
I love Lamar Jackson, but I think he's a tremendous player. And if I'm the Ravens, I would eventually sign him. But I want to see him do it one more year, and there is criticism for his game. He did not play well last year.
I agree,
and
I
he's
think
not,
that's fair.
He's not in the elite category of quarterbacks. He's different. He's almost in his own category. I get what you're saying.
But then you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers who stubs his toe in the playoffs and goes
and he doesn't
MIA,
get criticized enough.
And he gets no criticism.
You're right, and he deserves a lot of criticism.
Right. So
I think he deserves to be criticized more. Yes.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Sir Yacht, if you're a Cleveland sports fan, you know who this cat is. He's in the building, and I have to tell you, he has something with him that is going to take up a very large portion of our set. Why the hell does he have this thing with him? He's going to explain it. There he is, Sir Yacht, right after this break. UCSS coming right back. Stay with us.
Hey Cleveland, it's Adam the Bull. And if you love sports as much as I do, then you've got to be watching the new Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But if you don't have 2 hours to watch it live or on YouTube, well, there's a podcast version, so you're in luck. Listen to it anytime, anywhere. We're doing things on this show that no one else is doing. We're getting crazy. Find out for yourself. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
What matters most to me is family. Sometimes you don't realize how important it is until you're away from them.
What matters most to Jay? His family. He is a big family man. What matters most to me? My family, my safety, your safety.
I think the thing that most impresses me about Betsy is her versatility. Give her any assignment that involves going in front of a television camera, and she's going to knock it out of the park.
What's new with Betsy and Jay? Weekdays at 5 on 3. Recognize that feeling? It is the feeling of being together, enjoying the company of a familiar face, and sharing moments that matter to you, to me, to us. What matters to some could impact all of us, especially in a place like Northeast Ohio. Here, stories are shared from east to west to south. Stories of perseverance, of family, of love. If a story brings us together, it's what matters most.
Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I am a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. I have carried my fandom every city I've ever lived in. People have always asked me, why are you so diehard about Cleveland? It's because I'm from here. And we know how much our teams mean to us. Most of us know that because of our parents. In my case, my father was just a huge Cleveland sports fan. It was really part of our life. It was woven into everything we did. And it was our connection throughout his life.
Yeah, I had to tip well. Otherwise, I would have got back to Cleveland.
We're back with Sir Yacht, and explain what you brought with you.
So I brought a giant teddy bear. I got it off of giantteddybear.com.
He makes Bull look like a giant.
That's crazy.
Dude, that is some fetishist dream right now. This shot. There's a real specific website.
Oh my God.
That would really enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, there's porn for everything these days.
Oh my God.
Adam the Bull sitting next to a giant teddy bear.
Are you
Somebody's
having
into
sex
that.
with the teddy bear?
I certainly
Bear
am
on
not.
bear.
I don't
So
know.
why is he with you? What's the deal?
Well, why do we do? I mean, this is a classic situation we've all been in before, you know. So, no.
Sure.
So it's just for a YouTube project. I'm bringing it around everywhere for 24 hours in Cleveland. So
Did you
we're
lose
just
a bet?
no, just self-induced torture.
You do a lot of that.
Where
yeah,
does this
it's good
nickname come
content.
from, by the way?
What's
Sir
Sir
Yacht?
Yacht?
How did that start?
Music name. I like water. I was drinking a lot of Busch lattes in college and came up with Sir Yacht. So,
it
long
works.
story short.
So your background, I don't know. I first found out about you through some music videos that were hilarious.
Thank you.
Is that what sort of you have 500,000 TikTok followers?
Yeah, something like that.
So
Kind of crazy.
I'm gonna say, is that what sort of vaulted you to prominence in the social world? How did that happen?
Well, first off, every day I strive to be like Mike Polk Jr.
Just gotta keep
I
dreaming,
told
kid.
you, Mike.
Yeah.
I told you.
If I can get closer to Mike Polk Jr. every day.
This kid's like 1,000 times more motivated than I'll ever be.
Everybody's always compares me to you, so it's nice to finally meet
Jay
you.
did the same thing
I
earlier.
did actually earlier today. I said
Yeah.
because he was like, so how would you explain him? I said,
Yeah.
he's a young Mike Polk.
I'm a less funny Mike Polk Jr.
But you're
Mike Polk III.
You're a relentlessly workaholic promoter and video maker
Yes.
and whatnot, and people know you from all that stuff.
Yes.
And why'd you get started doing it?
So I'm the only person that benefited from the Browns going 0-16. So New Year's Eve, Corey Coleman drops the ball. I'm freaking out. My really good friend Tom Ramella is like, "Hey, you should make a rant." I'm like, "No, I don't really do that stuff." He's like, "You should do it." I'm like, "Okay." So we record this rant, blah blah blah. It gets on SportsCenter Snapchat the next day. McNeil retweets it, all this stuff. He definitely helped push it. Long story short, I started making content after that because I kind of fell in love with it, and it was like a happy accident, just like me. So,
And you jumped in the lake, right? Like Hugh Jackson was supposed to jump in the lake.
yeah, so I scouted all these places. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's like, there's no way we're going 1-15. If we do, I'm jumping the lake. I mean, he was right. They went
Right.
0-16.
Yeah, right.
They didn't go 1-15.
That's true.
So he was right.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is too fancy for me. I don't know how to put it on, but yeah, I think I might be the only person that benefited from 0-16, but.
You
If
definitely
the earpiece
have.
is bothering you, could take it out because you
No
don't
one's
hear
saying
it.
anything to you anyways.
Look
These
at
aren't
the
even plugged
bear,
into anything.
So
10 feet tall.
a lot of people don't know this.
nuts.
Like as far as YouTube and TikTok, there's a different generation of people that still watch the news, but predominantly no one does.
Yep.
Our age. You can make a living doing this, people. I think y'all don't understand. Like you have to put a lot of work in. How many videos are you uploading a day, and do you have a team with you?
So I have a creative partner, Bill, behind the camera right now. It really helps me with a lot of stuff, but it's mostly just the two of us, and then maybe an extra editor if we need it. But I'm right now. Before, like when I got my start, I was posting like daily on Twitter and TikTok and stuff like that. Now we're really working on these like really big projects. But it is really a grind. But the thing is, like when you're doing something you like really love, like it just doesn't feel like it. But yeah, we're like working constantly and like putting out all these videos and things like that, and it's just such a fun time. And you're right, you could really make a living from it. Like it's crazy. It's just there's no blueprint from it yet.
One of the
your
things
friend?
that you did was
There he is.
there's your buddy.
There he is.
Right
Hey,
the
you're
man
on
behind
camera.
the camera.
Look
and
at
now
you.
he's on the camera.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's a legend. He's like risk management producer. He gets me food. He's the best. Bill, I owe you my life.
One of the things you did that I know garnered a lot of attention, not just here locally, but even nationally, I saw a little bit. You decided that you were going to visit 13 Clevelands.
Yep.
And I think that's all the Clevelands that were west of the Mississippi.
So it's
Or, I'm
just
sorry, east of the
it's all
Mississippi?
the Clevelands that are cities. There are like 15 other like townships and unincorporated communities.
So you went to all the city Clevelands.
Yeah, and I lucked out because like the farthest west that it was Texas. Like you had townships that were in North Dakota, Washington. People were like, oh, you need to come here. I'm like, no, nobody even lives there. Why would I go there?
Yeah, right. It's not a city. So what did you learn about the other Clevelands?
It was so cool because it was a 9 to 10 day trip that like it was so different. Every city was different. I experienced like so many different cultures and different types of people, walks of life, like within a short amount of time. Right. It was like 5,700 miles worth of driving in 10 days. So it was just so cool. Everybody was so welcoming, and I think it was cool because a lot of Cleveland's, other than Ohio, they just don't get a whole lot of press. Like Cleveland, Texas is kind of by Houston. Cleveland, Tennessee is by Chattanooga, so they didn't really get a whole lot of press. So I think like it was cool because like we kind of bonded.
We don't
on that.
either.
Like yeah,
What is
exactly.
the biggest? What is the biggest population? Do you know besides ours?
Cleveland, Tennessee, I think.
Okay.
Because it's a big suburb of Chattanooga, and then Cleveland, Mississippi has a big one. They have like there's 2 Grammy museums, and one's in LA, one's in Cleveland, Mississippi. So, fun fact,
who knew
Cleveland,
that?
Mississippi has the most Grammy Award-winning artists besides the other 10 states combined. So, like, Mississippi's one, and then the next 10 states aren't, like, they don't even touch it.
Give us, you guys, you always offer to do challenges.
Yes.
Right.
If people retweet or whatever enough, and then you will agree to do. What are name some of those first of all?
So I went to 13 cities in Cleveland in 10 days. I biked from Cleveland to Cincinnati in like 4.5 days. I ran the Cleveland Marathon in skis.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
I read that.
Yo.
You did not run 26 miles in skis.
So I was too slow at the marathon. I only ran 9. They drove. Like when you're in last place, they feed you food because they think you're gonna die, and they had to drive me up 4 miles because I was so slow.
Yeah.
So I only did 9 miles of the half marathon, but then I went to the Ohio and Erie towpath, and I did the remaining 17.2.
Wow.
Yeah.
But on
In
the bike,
skis?
Yeah, I was terrible.
how long did it take you to do that?
I don't know when we started. Like it started like 8, and I think we finished at like 9 p.m.
Okay.
was-
when you rode your bike to Cincinnati,
Yeah.
where did you sleep?
We just slept in hotels. People hated on me for not getting a 10. I'm like, dude, like I can't even feel my back right now. I just want to go to bed. Like I just did 80 miles. Like I want to
You
go to
need a
bed.
bed,
Crazy.
a warm meal.
I love the
Listen,
people. I mean, were
he's
you an
worth
athlete?
Every follow. Make sure we need to get this dude 1 million followers, bro.
Yeah.
Like
appreciate it.
like yo, listen,
We
stop
need to get
playing
this
around.
YouTube channel 1 million subs. That's
Yeah,
cool.
hey,
Let's
listen.
go.
Can
Yeah.
you help us out with that?
Yeah.
I got you. I already we got one more. Well, I subbed at the beginning, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already
Well,
there.
that's okay. Everyone counts.
When
Yeah.
was
But
that,
wait a
right?
second. Did you play any sports in school?
Yeah, I played basketball at Ohio Wesleyan.
So you're a decent athlete?
tall for no
serviceable?
reason. Kinda. Serviceable.
Yeah, okay.
Serviceable.
Because those physical activities are pretty taxing.
Yeah, I think it's fun because people are like, oh, you like must have done a lot of training to do this. I'm like, no, I just don't do any training at all. And I think
Yeah.
it just like kind of proves that like you can kind of do anything if you just set your mind to it. I know
Is
it's
there
like a really
anything
cliche
sorry to cut you off, is there anything you wouldn't do? Like within reason. You're not going to kill
Weren't you
somebody or
challenge-
whatever.
You
Like, you know.
challenged Jake Paul to a boxing
Yeah, I
match?
put up a boxing promo a few
Yeah.
years ago, and he didn't see it, but Logan did, and he came back for Christmas, said we were gonna spar, but then he found out I wasn't actually a boxer, and he was like, that was like right after he was in trouble for bullying, or like not bullying, but that like Japanese forest
the
video.
suicide weird.
Yeah, so he was like, I don't want to be seen as a bully, so I was like, okay, thanks, I would have died.
That's nice
No,
of him.
like I want to do some big stuff. Like I want to skydive in 3 states in 24 hours soon. My biggest like goal, I want 2 goals. I want to
Yeah.
kayak the Ohio River. That's 981 miles.
Wow.
And then I want to swim from Cleveland to Canada. I can't count, so I have 3. And I want to bike from Cleveland to Hollywood sign. That's like a big one.
So
Cleveland to
you,
the Hollywood
Yes,
sign.
sir.
You mean
Bro.
you swimming across Lake Erie?
I want to, but
you
I got to
wanna-
figure out the shortest
Okay,
part.
so let me tell you. Here's how you do it. Pelee Island is in the the furthest
From Put in Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could technically swim from the U.S. to Canada if you swam from Put in Bay to Pelee Island,
Yeah.
which I should know this. I'm a boater. I think it's about like 8 miles. Or
It's-
so.
it's about 8 miles,
It's
you're right.
doable though.
It is.
And if you need a trailer, like you can swim along my boat.
Oh yeah.
I'll provide support.
You
If
have
you're
to have a
gonna drown,
trailer,
I'll
right?
just
Or
get
something
the
like
end.
that.
Jay's boat before any of us.
Yes, he did.
Logo.
It was,
We've been begging for the
Yeah.
boat invite.
The whole
Sir
crew
Yacht
will
comes.
go.
His name's Yacht, but he doesn't deserve an automatic invite to the boat. No,
Hey,
My net worth
Sir
is
Yacht.
not
Hey,
the highest here either.
by
so.
the way, we do need that. I just need you to
Yes.
tape it and put it on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show's YouTube, and we'll do that.
But I got to tell you, man, 8 miles in the water,
it's tough.
and Lake Erie's known for chop.
Oh yeah.
Bro, that I
So-
would recommend training for that.
Yeah, how
No,
big
I
a
would
swimmer
have
are
a
you?
shape or form.
Not very good.
Okay.
Well,
My
he's
form is very bad.
6'6", so I mean,
Yeah, but
I
it doesn't
think
make
so.
him necessarily
I
a
think
great
so.
swimmer.
no, but it make it long strides. He'll
Yeah.
have fewer strides
So,
than someone your size.
I swam a mile after the Browns-Texans game, so I do like a bet after every Browns win. So
Okay.
my bet for that game is I'll swim a mile. It was like a guaranteed mile because they were going to win. But
Can we
but
challenge you for with something?
sure, yeah.
McNuggets, have you thought about this at
Yeah,
all?
Sir Yacht, can you hear me?
I can
Is
hear
your
you quite
iPad
fine,
working?
yeah.
Cool. This is Steve Becker. He's our EP. He's not here right now, but Steve Becker's our EP. If you want, we'll kind of come up with an idea of a Sir Yacht UCSS challenge, but this was Steve Becker's initial idea. Dribble a basketball from Cleveland to Columbus.
That's a great idea. Holy cow.
I just saw it. He really did think that was a great idea. I saw the reaction. It was genuine.
Yeah, it was really genuine.
When
Yep.
you do I mean, I don't know how many you've done total, but like when you do something Cleveland to Cincinnati, are you trying to go the safest route or the shortest route?
Oh, what do we do?
Like
Did
you
we do a
avoid the
safe-
highways if you can.
I-71.
Here's the thing. We did like the bike path, so that's pretty
Yeah.
safe. But then you go through Amish country, and that's super dicey because you're going through cars, and you're also like fighting like space for buggies and horses
Right,
and
right,
stuff.
right.
You don't want to get into
It's
that.
dangerous. Then Columbus, they were all closed off, so we were all detours, and like we weren't going to like the safest places in Columbus either. So it was Cincinnati, we'll say like great bike pass, but yeah, we just I don't know, like we kind of just go by the fly as if that's a shock to anybody.
So you don't map out the path beforehand?
We do a little bit. He's risk management, so he does all the work. I just I'm gonna do this. He's like, no, we're gonna do this like way more calculated.
I gotta commend y'all. This is why I love.
This is cool.
This is why I love white people.
Because we're dumb and we'll do anything?
This is a rarer, like, I'm sitting here looking at him like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that.
Skydiving. I'm not
Black people don't get eaten by bears, fall off mountains, camp.
That's true.
We ain't biking nowhere.
Yeah, but how many TikTok followers do you have?
He's worth 500,000.
Okay, Sir Yacht, take the Cavs championship out. And I know we're really down to slim pickings here, but what's your favorite Cleveland sports memory aside from that?
Oh my goodness, this is gonna sound crazy, but it's. I mean, the Indians Game 7, like just being there. There was like the watch party out in Gateway Plaza.
Right.
I was like 22 years old. When Rajai Davis hit that home run, I jumped on one of the camera sets and I was just going crazy. I broke one of the cameras, I'm pretty sure. And then like a cop came up to like grab me, and the camera was like, "No, it's cool. Like, do you see what just happened?" He like looked up and said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, you got the Rajai pass.
Yeah. And like the Browns' first win since like they're 1-15, 0-16 with Baker, that was really cool. That was just like a cool. It was weird.
The Jets.
Jets, yeah.
Because like
Thursday
I was trying to go to Barley House, and it was like a 45-minute wait for an Uber. Like it took us like an hour to get there. Like it was for like a regular season game too, so that was really, really weird.
Yeah.
That's the whitest complaint I've ever heard. Easily the whitest complaint. Trying to get to the Barley House took like a 45 minutes for an Uber. I mean, what's wrong with this world?
I only have $25,000 in my savings. I pay check to
That's not
paycheck.
true. West 6 though, it's the perfect place to go if you're a douchebag.
That's what I hear. So this bear, you're just lugging this bear around town, and there's not for charity or anything. It's just
This is a challenge.
Yeah,
right?
we should. So typically we do something for charity. This is kind of a last-minute thing we threw together, and I should have.
That's all right.
We should maybe do something.
Where
for
else are you
charity.
taking that bad boy today?
So we're going to East 4th for lunch. To Blue Agave. I went to a boxing class this morning.
Okay.
Played volleyball with it. What else? Do we have anything else we're doing?
What's on anything else on the horizon? It's gonna get pretty sticky by the end of the day.
where'd
Oh,
you
we're going
grow-
jet skiing at some point.
Cool.
Jet
Do
ski
that
with the bear.
Probably do that
Yeah,
at the end. It'll get heavy.
Won't the bear
otherwise.
get gross?
Yeah, it's gonna get very gross.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna fall into.
Where did you grow up? What town did you grow up in?
the mean streets of Rocky River.
Okay. So you're
Chihuahuas,
you're
Range
from the
Rovers.
streets.
So-
from the streets.
So I live in Rocky River. Now, where did you go to Rocky River High School?
I did, yes.
Okay, so were you the class clown? Like,
I was a kind
Like,
of a
could we
clown,
have-
but I was a good student. I was a 4.0 student. Like I was
You
pretty
were?
good. Yeah.
so like your classmates, would they have, like, if you knew somebody was going to become what you've become, would they have predicted you?
No, I was the most oblivious, like I was extrovert, but I don't know, I was just really like nervous about stuff. Once I put these videos out, I think I like verbally said to myself, like I'm gonna stop caring what people think. I'm just gonna put myself out there, and I think I slowly like turned into like an extrovert.
That's a great lesson in life. Like,
Yeah.
I think in general, people tend to care too much about what others think of them.
Well, my first
Don't
tweet
get caught up in that.
I agree, thank you. My first tweet did really, really well, and I like let some like stupid kid from St. Ed's who had like 16 likes. He was like, "This is the most cringe kid I've ever met in my entire life." I didn't make a video for 2 weeks. I'm like, this high schooler like made fun of me. Like I was just like, all right.
Now you've realized, like, whatever, dude.
I need to like grow up. Shout out St. Ed's though. No disrespect.
What's
to
the
St.
best
Ed's, though.
tweet that you've ever put out? You've had some really funny tweets.
Every time I make a video or make a tweet about Jake Paul, it gets like 50,000 likes because everybody hates Jake Paul, especially
Right.
from here. So that's kind of like
He's
easy
very
money.
hateable.
You're kind of like, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but what you're doing is, I mean,
Jay good at that.
knew
He
you
say,
were gonna-
actually,
I
what
knew you
you
were
do?
gonna say something.
You is Jake Paul,
no, I mean,
right,
like,
fam?
you're Cleveland's sports version of Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't mean that, and you know that I love what you do,
Oh no, I don't take that.
and I don't want you to take that the wrong way.
I think Jake is
but you've separated yourself from the crowd, and that's very hard to do.
Jake is very hateable, but I think what he's doing is like you got to respect it to some sort. I like Logan a lot better. I think he's doing it the right way. Jake's kind of just like I'm the heel, and that's what he's
Right.
doing.
Yeah,
so.
he's embraced that for sure.
He's like he's like Aaron Goldhammer, you know. Shout Aaron though.
I just recently found out there were
Poor
two Pauls. I thought that was the same Paul that everyone was hating this whole time, and then
Yeah, you
somebody
didn't
told
know
me
there
there
were
were
two
two
of
of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
they're
joking
brothers.
either. I felt the same way about
That's what everyone says.
Yeah, the same. Really? Is that true?
Everyone thinks it's one person.
I thought it was one Paul. I felt the same way about who plays Thor.
Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah,
I
two
thought
brothers
there's like
just-
3
yeah.
Hemsworths out
Yeah,
there.
Liam.
Yeah, that made sense. I'm like, how's this Hemsworth guy in so many movies? Turns out there's a couple of them. So I'm not in touch. Is what I'm saying.
So,
That's okay.
besides Rocky River, you and I have something else in common. We both hate Mike Florio. I know you particularly hate
Holy
him.
cow.
Go ahead. Yeah, give us a little Mike Florio rant.
No, that guy just he's just total clickbait. That guy sucks. He's about as cool as stage 5 bronchitis. Is that? I don't even know if it goes to stage 5.
there
But
such
it
a
did.
thing? I
If
don't
it
know.
did, he would be at stage
That
5.
was funny.
Yeah.
But I just heard stories about him too. I don't know if he's a nice guy. I don't know. I think he tries to get messages people and tries to get stories out of them, and then he unfollows them and cuts off people cold turkey.
What's something that you tweeted out that you regret?
Most tweets?
Most of them? Okay. Is there one that stands out though or no?
Recently, I went to Austin Love's wedding. He's with Channel 3, and I ordered Taco Bell. Now, all these people are really mad. All these people are so mad because how could you do that? It's so disrespectful. First off, I got the vegan cauliflower dish. I ate it. It was delicious, but it didn't fill me
delivered
up.
to the wedding?
Well, yeah, I Uber Eats'd it. Yeah, so I had to. But everything that's so disrespectful is you asked the bride and groom. I was like, well, yeah, I asked them, and then he ate most of my Taco Bell. I didn't even really eat it. The groom ate it. So.
Would
That's
they-
Austin-like.
Why would that be disrespectful?
I don't. People, it's
That's
Twitter.
stupid.
It's you know it.
Yeah,
You
right.
get
People-
criticized for
This-
everyone gets
oh my
criticized
God.
for
These
everything.
plates cost $300 a person. How could you eat Taco Bell? Easy, I'm fat.
Taco Bell's
Yeah,
delicious.
but he's not fat.
Also, I was drunk. I needed some food.
And nothing scratches the drunk hunger like Taco Bell.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another top 5 McNuggets, top 5 drunk food.
And then if you've done eating, you got
Taco
to
Bell
make
is
a
not
run
on
for the
there.
border.
Oh yeah.
What
Absolutely.
about a challenge that you said that you would do, and then you were just getting into it, and you're like, I wish I wouldn't have agreed to do this, but I got
Oh, there's one I did, and Ravens fans still hate me for this to this day. So it was a Browns game where they beat the Ravens. I said I would eat a napkin for every retweet this got,
Oh,
and it got
God.
3,000 retweets. And
Oh.
I was like, all right, I'll find out how much edible napkins cost. It would have been
Right.
$10,000 or something.
Like a loophole.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it. And I get hated on it to this day. But I'm like, I'm
So
sorry.
you still have not eaten those 3,000 napkins?
No.
Is that the only one you bailed on?
Yes. Everything else I've done.
Have you I guess it's on MTV Jackass, right?
Yeah.
What is the most painful thing you've done? Have you got tased or something on a
I actually did get tased for a video. It's like you know how they said Trump has a tweet for everything?
Yeah.
I have a challenge for everything.
All right.
Wait,
So, yeah.
is you getting tased on Twitter?
It is.
For
Yeah.
real?
Can we call that up? Because
I'm
I
on
love
it. I'm
watching
looking for it.
I love
Yeah.
stuff like that.
If you just search my username with the underscore and then tased, it should come up.
Because we're looking at
hurt?
we're looking to do something for a challenge. If we get we try to get 11,000, and they said they wanted to pump or put chili on Anthony's head. We said we got to do something better. We were like, hey, either get attacked by a canine dog. Or,
Holy cow. That's crazy. So it wasn't the actual tase gun, it was the stun gun. Because they wouldn't I was in Fargo, North Dakota at the time, long story short. I was working for a media company out there, and the police were like, yeah, we're not going to let you do it. I'm like, okay. Because you can't get tasers anywhere there.
But the stun gun will knock you down. Won't
yeah, it hurt. And they made me do it 5 times.
What
so
it
hurt.
feel like? What it feel like?
I don't, just a lot of pain. It just felt like I was getting stabbed. Not that I would know what getting stabbed feels
Right.
like, but
Yeah, that has never happened in Rocky River.
yeah, it doesn't. You'd be surprised.
Mike Polk was like, nah, I'm cool.
Not so much.
I've been tased, and it was not pleasant.
Would you get stabbed for 11,000 subs?
No, I wouldn't do that.
We should play his, by the way. And I knew I had retweeted something he did recently, and I couldn't think it was. I've been searching through my Twitter to find it, and of course it was the rant you went on about Florio a few weeks ago.
stinks.
It was one of the funniest things. Have you guys seen this
No,
one?
no,
I should have done this before the show. I apologize.
There's tag board doesn't have audio.
Ah,
You
man.
see him,
That was
but you
one of the
can't hear.
funniest things
All that
I've
hype
ever
about
seen.
Tagboard and it doesn't have audio? Dude, Tagboard is not what you built it up to be.
I'm sure most of our listeners have seen it already, but if you haven't, make sure you check that. I think you did it late June, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So he's very polarized. The Browns are very polarizing right now, but I think we can all agree that Mike Florio is just a giant tool.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody's really in the
No.
Mike Florio camp.
Yeah.
You know what? He's sort of built a brand for sure.
No,
he's
and
getting
he
there.
works
That was
really,
it.
really hard. Yeah, I just don't like him. That's okay.
I'm not.
That's a very flattering picture of me. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
how
have a
about
lot of
how
those
about that
down
tag
there.
board though? I mean,
Yeah,
look at what that adds to the program. That tag board's really changing my
Look at
life.
this. This is
Way
a
to just run down the tag board.
beautiful face.
So we
right
got an
here.
expert here, though. Like you said, we're trying to get to how many subscribers? Trying to get to 11,000. So
well, ultimately, our goal is much higher than 11,000.
yeah,
I think
right.
we ought to just top out and call it a day.
We set short-term goals.
You know, what are we going for? But what would you recommend? What kind of challenge can we offer to these people to entice them into subscribing?
Oh man.
And
Let's
the
see.
people who are watching right now, I guess you got to go find a friend and tackle them.
What
and
is
make them
What is
subscribe.
something you guys don't like to like? Someone said they didn't want you to go skydiving.
I would
you-
never go
Would you go
skydiving.
skydiving for
I've done
11,000?
it, and I would do it again. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I love it.
They would revoke my NAACP card. They revoke all that. I'm not. Now, I did say that a canine dog getting attacked
Yeah.
with the suit on, I'd be.
I'd be mortified.
I'd be. Because here's the thing, you got the suit on, but
Yeah.
you know the canine dogs can tell if
They'll
you
knock
black
you
or
off
not.
your feet. I don't know if they'll knock you off your
Would you?
Black or not.
Would you guys take a punch from Stipe?
I would not.
Oh no! Oh.
speak for
These
anyone.
sound like 100,000 subscriber
You would do that.
goals. Sure.
He could kill you.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't.
I would
too
wear
nice.
like.
Have you met Stipe?
No, I need to.
He's
I
a
would love to meet him.
physically
All right, hold
intimidating
on.
guy, but you're 6'6".
Hold on.
Yeah, but he's the
Yeah, but
baddest MFer of all
On the
time.
planet.
Yeah,
I
on
know.
the planet.
Mikey,
Yeah.
we need to scheme this. See, we ain't hustling right.
The man's
So-
the UFC champ, and he's still a firefighter. That's how
Y'all
badass
missed
he
it.
is.
Y'all missed it.
I know where you're going.
We need Stipe on, and you could come donate, and you could pull up, and then we can tape this, and we'll say, if you get us to a certain amount of viewership, Stipe will punch my man.
Oh, I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
the one.
No,
I'm the one getting
That's
punched.
fair.
Yeah, so we're pimping him out. Yeah. Stipe would never do that.
Nah, he wouldn't.
He would
Would he
never
punch
do
me?
that. If he
No.
was getting paid, and
If he
it was
saw
in
some
a
of your top
legally
5
sanctioned
lists, he
fight, he would kill you in about 6
yeah.
seconds. But if
But he
it's-
wouldn't. He's too nice. He'd pull it.
But it's a body
So-
shot.
If I had better health insurance.
He's
No.
just taking the body
I don't
shot.
think he would do it. I don't
So,
think he would.
so you said you've been inspired by Mike, correct?
Yeah, he's my hero.
I remember the first thing that stands out to me was Mike did the Factory of Sadness rant in front of the Brown Stadium, which everybody's seen. Is
course.
that your most famous thing?
Probably. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, the
that-
Detroit, the Cleveland video.
The hastily made tours
not
videos,
Detroit?
I think, are
Yeah.
the most famous.
To me, that was the best thing. When I saw that, it was one of the greatest things I'd ever seen, and
Right.
that's how I found out
Yes.
about Mike. And is that like this? When you saw that, did that inspire you or his early videos?
No, because I never really wanted to be a content creator.
Yeah.
I think it was after I made a few videos that somebody pointed out that I remind me of Mike Polk Jr. and I was like, you know what?
It's good company.
That's awesome because I like that guy a lot.
But we need to find a way to exploit you. We don't want you to
Yes,
get punched
sign
by.
the peace
We don't want you to get
Back
punched.
to it. He's
you
about
don't
the
have to get
brass
punched
tacks.
by
I like
Stipe.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You don't have to get punched by Stipe. We're not going to have you get attacked by a police dog. But what would you do on behalf of the show for us to do us a solid?
Yeah.
We're not paying him?
No.
I would. All right, I wanted to do this for a while,
Okay,
and I haven't
here we
been
go.
able to because the Browns never win when I bet it or anybody. I will eat an entire pineapple, including the rind. The
Wow.
core.
Oh.
That sounds painful.
Yeah,
Wait, I don't think you can.
It's possible. I googled it. Google is always right.
So I'm
never
willing,
wrong.
I'm willing to give it a shot.
I am too, bro.
How are you going to eat the rind though?
It's like spikes on there.
We'll figure it out.
and it's super hard. I don't know that your teeth
Don't
would
talk that
survive
man down. He already said he was gonna do it, and you
Yeah,
trying
all
to
right.
plea bargain
I
him
don't want the
down.
guy to die.
UCSS will purchase the pineapples.
We
for
got
this
it.
round.
I appreciate that.
That was
That's
very kind
There we
of
go.
us.
We got you, sir. Yacht.
We got a huge budget.
I have catastrophe health insurance right now, so maybe I can get a better plan before that.
And
What,
Please do.
we'll give you lifetime UCSS gear. We don't even have it yet, but just give it to him.
I like that.
We need to get this done.
Have you done any crazy food challenges?
We did a raft video, so I was on an inflatable boat for 24
Right.
hours.
You
a
just
couple
did
weeks
that,
ago.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
ate a ghost pepper, and that was horrible. I did the one chip challenge. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but that's terrible. It's like I don't know how many million Scoville units, but it's
That's
bad.
another good one. If we subscribe, will you eat anything? A ghost pepper. Will you eat something that's obsessively hot? And
You can
all,
do it.
All four of us. Like
love
we
hot-
ate something
I
that
love
was
hot
hot.
stuff, but-
and
I guess I would do that. I would do. I'd do
Bro,
that before skydiving.
People that
But
have
we
done
have-
that have ended up in the emergency room.
All right, I'm not
I've seen
doing
it.
that.
I've seen
Yeah.
it.
so
I'm too old. He's young and in
Hold-
good shape. I can't
so
do
we
that
would
stuff.
so we would eat a ghost pepper and then attempt to do the show.
Will you,
No, I can't do
G.
that.
Bush?
I actually think that'd be great
No,
content.
go live,
Yeah,
eat the
like-
ghost pepper, and then proceed
Yeah,
with the show.
We jump out of an airplane eating a ghost pepper.
Jesus.
and then we
Try
take
not
a
to
shot.
barf before you hit
Then we
the
get
ground.
punched by Stipe when we land on the ground.
You land on a bike.
Land on a bike
and you
and
go
ri-
to
and drive
Cincinnati.
to
Stipe
right to
meets you in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati and punches you.
There you go.
That would be.
Are we TikToking?
Yeah.
Is
That's
it
a TikTok.
working?
Yes.
That's a TikTok.
Do they love us?
Yeah.
We should get a TikTok.
Would you skydive,
We don't?
Mike?
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I've never
Right.
done that.
We have every other account.
Yeah.
We got to get TikTok. But yeah, but McNuggets, please set that up. I think that he's at least good
I'm
for
in.
10,000.
Listen, I got Sir Yacht's number now. We'll be in touch.
I'm in.
We actually talked last night.
Did you
Sir
ever
Yacht's-
find the taser video?
No, we couldn't find it. I searched Sir Yacht. Anthony's
Okay.
still on it.
All
We're
right.
looking for it. But Sir Yacht does have a top 5 for us today.
Oh, yeah.
And this is
yeah.
a special top 5, and every top 5 is brought to us by our favorite, Roundstone Insurance. For more than a decade, Roundstone has been offering small businesses and mid-sized businesses
Great
money
insurance.
up to 20% off their insurance. Yeah, 20%. Contact us today to learn how you
Have
can
you tried
get great
this
healthcare
insurance?
benefits that
It's
your employees will
incredible.
love and save money too.
Like a roundstone cowboy.
There it is.
There you
I
go.
like that one.
Did you catastrophe insurance? Is that what you called it?
Sure.
Check out Roundstones because they have a great catastrophe.
That was a great segue.
Policy.
It's like you guys are. It's like you get paid to do this. All right.
So what's
all-
our top 5 today?
Top 5 hidden gems in Cleveland.
All right.
I've had a lot of drunk escapades recently with weddings and things like that, so I feel like I'm pretty experienced with this. So
Cool.
number 5, we have Tina's Nightclub. It's
Great
on.
spot.
It's in Gordon Square. Yeah, I sang a lot. I've sang a lot of drunk karaoke here before.
Nice.
Your tab's like $15. Is a good time.
Let me tell
What
you
goes
something.
on at Tina's nightclub?
Just debauchery.
Are the beers cheap? Is that why it's a?
Everything, yeah, is like $3-4.
I'll tell you what bothers me about Tina's nightclub, and I love Tina's nightclub. They used to have the best patio because it just looked like a prison yard. It
Yes.
had literally just a chain link fence,
Barbed wire, yeah.
and you'd pull up to like meet your friends, and it's like you were just like, I'll wait for you. That's what it looked like out on the patio. And they also have my favorite sign ever at Tina's because they do karaoke there all the time, and it's a kind of like it's a salt of the earth area. And so, like, they get just people wandering in and stuff like that. And there's a sign up behind the karaoke that says, "Must buy something to sing karaoke." I love that sign.
Handwritten.
It is handwritten. Like somebody just had it.
Tina sound like a strip club. With
I
a
thought
good-
that's what
I thought it was too.
When you
Yeah.
said Tina's
You were
nightclub, I'm like,
disappointed when it was
yeah,
karaoke.
that's why I asked you what went on there. I thought you were going to say nudity.
Yeah.
I did say debauchery. That was
Yeah.
probably bad. I
Yeah.
should have led with it is a karaoke bar.
Okay. There we
All
go.
right.
I feel like there could be something in a strip club for you to do. No?
I got
They
a
have
lovely
bouncers
lady
there
on
that
it.
do punch for real.
It's
But
too
you
bad.
work it out with the strip club. I mean, like, do something. I don't know. That's a
I
creative.
got a
Do
lovely
someone in a strip
lady.
club.
I got a lovely lady.
Oh, you don't want to
and,
get in trouble. All right,
yeah,
fair enough.
We're good.
All right, what's number
Go
4?
ahead.
Yeah. Number 4, we have the free parking spot on Superior Avenue. So this has been clutch for me for 10,
You're
15
giving away
years.
secrets.
I know. Hope-
This is proprietary.
yeah, this is tough. I'm
man.
kind of like the 6'9" of the game right now. I'm kind of snitching, but it's in between a handicap spot and a fire hydrant, and you walk down to the Cavs game or the Guardians game, and it's clutch. It's perfect, and most importantly, it's free.
Now you've given that away. There was when I used to work, on East 9th and Prospect, there was a meter for like 6 months that was broken.
Yeah, it's the
and
best.
you get that free meter, but you don't give that secret away.
Yeah, that was kind of tough.
How
Save it
often
for
have you
yourself.
been there?
It's a live show, but can we delete that?
Yeah, we'll delete that.
Retroactively.
No one will see it.
don't
No one will see it, bro. Hey, how many times? What's the percentage of times that you go for that spot that it's taken?
15%.
Wow.
Because
so
people
this
don't
is
realize it's a spot.
Now it's going to be like 85%.
Yeah, we're screwed. And the people that are going to kick my ass that gave me that intel,
Yeah, that was not for public
They're going to beat me up.
consumption.
You ever see those shows where magicians expose the secrets of magicians and show
Yeah,
them how
exactly.
they, and all the magicians are like,
Yeah.
no, my
Yeah.
livelihood. That's what just happened.
That's what I feel like. Can we also talk about why Cleveland has coin parking meters still?
absurd.
Can
We're
we
the
have,
last city in
credit
America.
cards?
Because they want to
we
give
have to
tickets.
be.
That's why.
Oh yeah, it's
They wanna give
total
tickets.
shit.
Nobody has coins anymore.
And I
know.
always get tickets too. It's so.
All right, number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3. What did I say for number 3?
Here it is.
Johnny's Little Pub, that's right. When I was on jury duty watching people throw away their lives, I was throwing back some burgers. Every day when I was on jury duty, I went to get a good burger. That's
Where
a
is
great
that
place.
exactly?
It's on
I've
West
never been
6.
there.
It's on West
It's
6.
awesome.
Okay,
It
tell
is
us
great.
about your jury duty. There's got to be great stories there. G. Bush was called yesterday but got dismissed.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, they tried to hit me with the 7-day game. I
So
couldn't
my
do it.
advice for you is, because they'll eventually get you,
Yeah.
as they do. So what I do is I pick every alt-left and alt-right opinion. And I don't believe any of them, but I always bring up abortion, and I always, so it's always like, that's my go-to.
Yep.
Like, does anybody have like an opinion on something that would like, make them not be on the court? And I would like, I just like always say something, so.
Right.
Yeah,
Gets
you
you out of
always
trouble.
pick extremes.
And you get dismissed every time.
yeah, oh yeah.
All right,
Well,
very
I've only
good.
been on once.
Yeah, but it worked.
But it worked that one
It worked.
time.
And I was
100%
not proud of
success
myself,
rate.
but you got to do what you got to do. you know?
Johnny's Little Bar, another factoid about that place. Their burgers are amazing, and it's because, from what I understand, this is the rumor. It's like an offshoot of Johnny's downtown, like the nice restaurant. And
Italian?
they use the meat from Johnny's that they don't use in some of the other stuff in their burgers. So it's like good cuts of meat and stuff too. Really good hamburgers at Johnny's. I love that
Can
place.
confirm.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Number 2.
Number 2, this is going to be a shocker to people, but Cleveland Guardians games. We're still 25th in attendance, so I know some people are forgetting that we have a baseball team. It's a lot of fun, though. I mean, I have a good time there. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe the name was changed. You know, I don't necessarily like the Guardians name, but I mean, come on, you got to root for
Get
those
over it.
teams.
It's
You're a
professional
Cubs guy,
baseball,
though, right?
you know?
No, but I love the Guardians,
you're a Guardians
too.
guy,
I mean,
too?
if they're playing anybody but the Cubs, I'm rooting for
I
them.
feel you.
And you're 100% right. It's a great experience. There's good food at the ballpark. There's good sight lines from everywhere. It's a great atmosphere.
It might not be a
there.
hidden gem, but we're 25th in attendance.
I think it is a hidden gem. You're right. Not enough people.
Not
think
enough people are experiencing
You're
it.
right.
That's for
It's a
sure.
good call.
What was it, 455 games in a row?
Yes.
There was
That number is
sellout.
retired.
Let's get that to 456.
The only thing that sucks about the stadium is the big green things in right field. Whatever they are, those things they put up
boxes?
there. Those boxes.
try and cover up
here's
all the
the
seats
crazy
we
thing.
can't
Those are
fill.
Yeah,
those
that
look
was what it
ugly.
was.
Those
They
are
cut
horrible.
attendance by like 10,000,
Right.
and I think we have 1 or 2 sellouts this year. 2 or 3 maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, to think that we did 455 consecutive sellouts.
Yeah.
Amazing. With
And-
much
and-
bigger
and-
stadium.
And we can't sell out 5 games.
I know,
and
it
it's
sucks.
3 All-Stars, too.
3
Yeah,
All-Stars.
and they're competitive. They're 3.5 games out of
They'll
first
be
place.
good. They're a young team. They'll be really good.
They are very young.
Give 'em a
Okay,
couple
and your number 1 hidden gem.
Number 1
in
hidden
Cleveland.
gem. It's not. I'm gonna get hate for this. It's not really in Cleveland. It's like a suburb, but Close Quarters Pub. I don't know if anybody's ever been there, but it's
Never
like
heard
one of
of
the
it.
10 smallest pubs in the country, rated by MSNBC. It's like one of my favorite spots.
Looks like a shed.
Yeah, it's they have a saying on the wall. It says maximum occupancy 32 people. Unless you're all fat, then it's 16. It's a great spot. It's cash only. Cash only. It's a great
Yeah.
spot. I highly
Where is it?
recommend it. It is in Avon Lake.
Okay.
Doug Deacon.
Mike, have you ever been
I shouldn't
there?
say
I
that.
have.
I'm not going to say Doug Deacon goes there all the time because that would be giving out a spot. I would never say that.
But you might see
But
him
if I
there.
did, I would say Doug Deacon goes
Guaranteed
there all the
Deke
time.
sighting. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Deke
I
sighting.
wouldn't say that, but if I were going to say it,
He would.
Here's
Yeah.
the- you know what? You guys really are kind of the same person, separated by one generation. Because Mike, you've been to all these places. There isn't a place.
Oh, you've been to that last place?
He's been
Yeah, I've been to all
everywhere in
those.
Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, nobody knows the nooks and crannies of Cleveland,
Yeah.
Ohio, like Mike.
If we're just going bar based, yeah, I'd say that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But I don't know where the cool museums are or anything. If that's what you're looking for.
no.
Nobody's
No.
looking for
Our
it.
audience
No.
is interested in the bars.
By the way,
only.
you mentioned you have a girlfriend.
I do.
Did you meet her once you started doing this, or was she with you before?
Like a little after, but I didn't really have a following or anything like
Right.
that. So she's a day one.
So
yeah,
she's
and she's gonna be
legit.
a surgeon. Yeah,
She'll be a surgeon.
I'm
So
retired.
you're gonna be
in 10
living
years.
off her.
Yeah, I'm retired in 10 years.
So what does she think of all these things you do?
Awesome.
She always leads things. She's like, I love you, but you're an idiot. That's what she says. It's like you're amazing, but what the hell is wrong with you?
As long as she leads with "I love you" and it's not the other way around.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
I was told
but I love
but
you.
excludes everything in the beginning. Like everything you say before but
Yeah.
it doesn't count.
Yep.
But does she try you? She doesn't try to talk you out of this stuff, right? Sometimes.
She knows that she can't.
Okay.
I'm
So
just
she's
gonna
given
do
up
it.
that.
Yeah, she just prays.
She doesn't want to see you take a right hand to the face from Stipe. Though.
Probably not.
No.
No, this
Yeah.
is my moneymaker. No,
Yeah,
it's
you
not. It's
can't-
not really actually. I'm not that. I'm pretty ugly, but
You
that's
can't.
okay.
You can't take that to the face.
She's got a heck of a Valentine's Day gift coming over here, that's for sure.
Holy cow! Well, I don't know if anybody wants a giant teddy bear. That thing is so big. I always forget. It's like all legs too. It's just like me.
This contrast is fantastic too
Well,
between the
can
two
you,
of them. I
can you
love
get
this.
up and sit on that teddy bear?
I-
Just sit on its leg, because I don't think people really
I
have
can,
an idea.
I
how
can sit down
big
if you
that
want. So
is.
I'm 6'6", so I can.
Yeah, go
am
ahead.
Am I plugged into anything?
Yeah, you got
Yeah, yeah.
microphones and all the other wires on and everything else.
We'll get a shot when he leaves real quick.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
post it
yeah.
on social media.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Sir Yacht, do you go by Sir? What do you go by?
I don't know. Idiot, moron, Joey, Sir Yacht. One of those.
Do you
two.
still
What
do
is your
music?
girlfriend?
Do you still do music?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Check
yeah.
out the videos. The videos are very funny.
I appreciate
and
it.
it's your crew that does the Browns sitcom episodes with the laugh track. Is that you? That
Yeah. But it's me, and then I used to have an editor of my old company.
Okay,
but now it's just
those
me
are
into it.
hilarious.
Thank you. Yeah.
Those are super well done.
They're very cheesy, and that's me. I'm very cheesy. I don't think you're very cheesy though. So I didn't take that from you.
I can be cheesy.
I didn't take that from you though.
But the sitcoms work. The laugh track is just annoyingly funny.
Yeah, I just searched Nickelodeon sitcom laugh track, and then I just rip it from YouTube.
And the lines are all about the Browns and
Yeah.
the trials and
I need
tribulations.
to do them again. I just don't know how to I can't make jokes about legal stuff. It's I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, Deshaun's
hard going
probably
right
off
now.
I don't know
limits.
anything about law either. So most things I don't know about.
Have you
but
been
most
threatened
also
for
don't know about law.
lawsuits yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So not yet. I'm not gonna say I won't ever.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Looking
the
forward
bigger
to it.
you get, the more of a target you'll become.
I'm looking forward to that day. It means I made it.
You're right. Once
We've
you
talked about the show Impractical Jokers before. Do you know that show?
I love that show.
Yeah, it's great.
He'd do really. You'd be good on that.
Yeah, he would.
I would do almost anything.
Right.
But I feel like they would too. And then they say
Yes.
one of the things is so ridiculous. Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
It is weird when they don't. They get uncomfortable when they're supposed to say something that's kind of racist or whatever.
Yeah.
That's when they get.
Yeah.
They get uncomfortable.
Okay, I wouldn't say that. Especially
Probably the
on,
right
camera.
time to get uncomfortable. Probably.
Well, but
Yeah.
it's a good
Get
show. But you're
uncomfortable.
doing it for the gag, and then you tell the
but
people
you know
after.
what? The fear factor of getting punched in the face. There's
Yeah.
got to be there's got to be an
That's true.
outtakes blooper reel of those guys all taking one.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
face.
yeah.
You're
There
telling
has to
me
be.
you're telling
But
me
the
one of them has never gotten punched in the face before?
I find it hard to
Dude,
believe.
one of the things they had to do was to go up in New York City and take someone's lit cigarette out
Oh
of their
yeah,
mouth and smoke
that
it.
was Murr had to do that.
Most guys that are smoking on the
Yeah.
streets of New York that I
Would
can
have punched you
imagine.
in the face,
You
yeah.
just took my
That gives
smoke,
me
dude.
anxiety thinking about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, that is really.
But the show's not the same without Joe, though. I don't know if you've watched it this year. It's not the
best.
same.
He was the best.
He was the best.
Sir Yacht, thanks for stopping by.
It was awesome.
We
Thanks
for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I appreciate
Continued
it, guys.
success.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You
we
guys
will
too.
come up with an official challenge. I like the idea of dribbling a basketball from Cleveland to Columbus. That could be really
Bill,
cool.
write that down. Let's do that.
We'll talk about
Next
all
video.
this and we'll get back to you, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Sir Yacht on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We're going to take a quick break to get this mammoth teddy bear out of the way. I just love how small Bull looks
Look at
next
his
to that
arms.
thing.
He got the T-Rex arms.
Larry, you know what? It's kind of looks like Bull.
Get him on there.
It looks like Bull.
Get Mike on camera. Get him on there.
You know, on the internet it lives forever, Mike.
It's a takedown. Oh, he's taking him down.
You know that's the domestic violence.
We'll be right back.
Oh my God. Hey, it's Adam the Bull for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and I'll tell you what I think of when I think of Cleveland sports. It's that everybody loves it. I've been to other parts of the country, and there's people that love sports and people that don't care. But in Cleveland, everybody cares even a little bit from every walk of life, and that's what makes this city special. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, it doesn't matter. The people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio love their teams like nowhere else in the country.
News you can trust should be news you can rely on.
And every night at 11 on What's Next, you can rely on us.
A new legal twist for Brown.
Today also marks the beginning of ODOT's
here, and we are going to continue.
So the Guardians have to play almost. You can rely on us to help you go to bed better informed with stories that prepare you for tomorrow.
And with news that's relevant to your life. We'll make sure that you're ready for what's next.
Because being ready for tomorrow is what matters most.
Hey Cleveland, it's Adam the Bull. And if you love sports as much as I do, then you've got to be watching the new Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But if you don't have 2 hours to watch it live or on YouTube, well, there's a podcast version, so you're in luck. Listen to it anytime, anywhere. We're doing things on this show that no one else is doing. We're getting crazy. Find out for yourself. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
We face challenges every day, some bigger than others, and we never know what's around the corner.
Through the highs and the lows, whatever we face it together. Each morning on Go, we are here with the facts, because what impacts you impacts all of us.
And understanding those facts helps us to make informed decisions for our families, our communities, and our future.
We are here for you every step of the way. Go, weekday mornings, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
Instagram, I can't do it.
We're back. Here we are.
Hey, what smoke?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, we didn't. We
He
had
was
no idea we
awesome.
were coming back.
It was a lot of fun.
Man, how about the size of that bear?
That was a very large plush animal.
Yes, it was. Beautiful.
No denying it. He
Tim-
said it came in a vacuum pack and it was this big when he got it and then it blew up.
You know, Tim,
70 pounds though.
Tim Zoller in the chat says Bull's gonna alpha that bear like a savage.
I'm going to what the bear?
He's gonna alpha that bear like a savage.
Do you want to do internet reaction here or no?
Well, let's do the double-sided hitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, we could take the tag board whenever you want. I think this is a video worth showing, and
Oh, it
Judge
absolutely
Jay
is.
will come out. This happened to a high school in Japan.
Just
That's the first pitch of the at bat. Watch the bat.
Right-handed hitter. Now he's switching over to the left side.
Jay, you can take it from here.
Crafty.
Okay, now he's about 5'2", and with the squat, he's about 4'8". Now that was called a strike. Now he's running back to the other side. What you can't hear is his dugout is laughing and cheering him on. Next pitch, he takes him out, which I'm surprised it took that many pitches.
Right.
I think we cut some of the pitches out. There were a total of 5 pitches, I think.
I know Jay's going to disagree with this. I have, in a lot of ways, I consider myself old school, but when it comes to baseball, I think throwing at batters is stupid. It puts a runner on base. It's dangerous.
That's
it's dumb.
stupid too, Bull.
It's funny. It's high school. Who cares? This practice, you're in favor of throwing at batters in the majors?
I think there's a place for it.
I don't.
I think there's.
If I'm a batter in the majors and a pitcher throws at me, I'm throwing the bat.
Is that akin to a flagrant foul? Like, so say for instance, somebody been dunking on you all game. He go up for uncontested dunk and you grab him out of there.
That's bush league.
So okay. I've always wondered how can you hit somebody with a baseball?
Like hitting a guy. Like if there's a bunch of home runs and I'm a pitcher and I'm now throwing at the hitter because guys hit home runs.
That's
bush
lousy.
league to me.
That's real lousy. But what if they came after one of yours or somebody, the other pitcher?
Well, that's
threw
a
at your
different
guy?
story.
That's when I said there's a place for it.
Yeah.
That's the place.
But you're right.
It's
Not because I'm
retaliation.
losing so bad and I'm going to pout by throwing at this.
Yeah,
But
I mean, if a guy Cadillacs on a home run,
You
a lot of
throw at
times,
a guy for that? That's
No,
ridiculous.
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
But a lot of times the next guy wears one.
Yeah,
And the whole thinking, the same thing when a guy's trying to steal your signs, and you got a guy on second, and you come to the stretch, and you turn back around, and he's flashing whatever signals they have from the second base, got the runner on second to the hitter. Here's what's coming. I usually tell the guy, I'm going to give him one chance. I'll usually just step off the mound and I'll say, you're going to get this guy hit.
I like that. Picture somebody watching this show for the very first time. We did not set up why you're dressed like
I'm
this.
Judge Jay.
And so, like, if somebody ever watches this, like, why did he just put on a wig and we're talking about this Japanese high school baseball player? Do they do this every time they talk about Japan?
By the way, it looks like they're playing in a professional stadium in that Japanese.
Yeah, they take their high school baseball serious.
Yeah.
It's like high school football in Texas.
They do.
Here at high school baseball, there's nowhere to sit.
So,
yeah, no.
What do you want us to judge, Judge?
So
Jay,
here's the thing. So
Yeah.
how do you handle that as the pitcher of the other team? And I'll pick which punishment I like best.
I'm not punishing him. He's doing it for whatever reason. It's silly, but like he's trying to get in my head. I'm getting him out.
Okay.
Shutting them up that way. That's
like
what
that.
I'm doing.
First of all, we all have this friend in high school. I had one. His name's Anthony Nadel, and he was one of these kind of like smart asses who would do stuff like this. We
call him a Nundik.
We were on the basketball team together, and he's the guy who would always shout out when the other team would get a rebound. He would shout out "outlet, outlet" as if it were him, and then they'd throw it to him thinking it was him in a panic, and So we always have there's always one of these kind of guys. I have no problem with it, especially at high school level. And I don't know if that's cool in Japan. He might be dishonoring his family right now by doing this for all we know. But I didn't know this. This is actually, you can do this in the major leagues, right? You can pop from side to side. If you're a batter, as long as the pitcher is not set, you can move from.
I think once there's 2 strikes, you can't.
I was okay.
Really? I have no idea. I've never seen anybody do it, so I never thought
I think you can.
It's a matter of time.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. I think you legally can do that. I think you can go from pitch to pitch. As long as the pitcher isn't already set, you can move from one side of the plate to the other. Do you think anybody would ever do that? Would it make any sense?
I'm surprised nobody.
I'm surprised
someone probably has.
Ohtani isn't doing that right now.
You can't switch. Steve was saying you can't switch. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do it. And I never thought.
I always thought you could until there was 2 strikes, then you were locked in.
Well, regardless,
whatever side you were on when
if
you
you're
were but I don't know if Steve is saying he's got Google at home. He's probably Googled it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. As a kid, I just remember someone telling me you can do that until there's 2 strikes, then you're locked in.
You know what I would do?
What's that?
I would. This is easy. You want to play games? I could play games too. I like playing games. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from the stretch, and I'm gonna just keep stepping off the rubber over and over. And over. I might go down and play with the little rosin bag, throw it up and down. I'm going to take my time walking around the mound.
So you're going to try to get under his skin.
And then when I pitch, I'm throwing it underhand.
Yep. Fast pitch.
Nice.
One of those fast pitches.
Real high.
Yeah.
Your hand got to be up high by your neck.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah,
kind of
interesting. They probably walk him on 4 pitches.
And he's going to be like, okay, well, there
what
you
a
go.
treat for the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't pay for that. Well, when I first saw this video, I thought, okay, so what would I do if that happened? And my first reaction was, as soon as he switches to the other side, and he's making a joke out of it, clearly. He's not doing it for a tactical advantage. He's trying to get under your skin. My first reaction was, oh, he's going to wear one on the second pitch. I'm going to hit him. Because, just because a player goes into a crouch, that doesn't define the strike zone. The strike zone is knees to to the shoulders or the armpits when he's standing upright. And this gimmick where he's scrunching down to make the strike zone that big. The umpire, I thought, squeezed the pitcher a couple of times. I thought there were 2 pitches in there that was a strike. So, Bull, I'm gonna rule in your favor.
Thank you.
The way you win that battle is to win the mental chess match. You strike him out because he's definitely not going to swing the bat. He proved that. He's up there as a gimmick at bat. And the way the team was responding, it's probably not the first time that happened.
Right.
So I think they were in a situation where they're like, we need a leadoff runner. We need a leadoff runner. It's late in the game. We're down a run. How do we do it? Well, let's put the small kid in and gimmick it up and get a walk, and then you got your runner on first base. Then you can pinch run with the fast gimmick kid.
Right.
Now you got the tying run in scoring position.
Bull, would you like to see Austin Hedges try that attempt? Try that.
He
bat?
might actually be able to get some hits if he did that, so it might help him.
Walks.
Yes. By the way, I was reading this from minorleaguebaseball.com about this rule.
Yeah.
Because there was a situation in the minors where Pat Venditti, who had a cup of coffee in the big leagues, is a switch pitcher.
I've never heard of him, by the way.
And
the switch pitcher. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was pitching to a switch hitter. I don't know the guy's name.
Oh, and they kept switching back and forth.
Right. And so they made a rule.
I remember that.
So the hitter can switch every pitch.
Yep. Okay.
The pitcher has to say at the start of the at-bat
how he's going to pitch.
How he's going to pitch. He can't change.
You're right. You know what? Why? Now I do remember that. So the
because otherwise it would just go on forever.
I don't know. Where did Steve get that you can't do that?
Steve corrected himself.
Oh, he did?
He corrected.
Okay.
Because the rule was changed recently when this happened.
Yeah, I do remember when that happened. And there's another pitcher right now that can throw left-hand and right-handed. I think he's in the minor leagues.
I think he's in the Rays organization.
Yes,
I can't think of his name right now, but yes.
What an advantage,
I will say this. I take it back, Jay. Here's what you do. When he does it, you throw at him and hit him. The next person that comes on, you throw at him and hit him. When they take you out and get you up out of here because you're going to get ejected, they take the next pitcher, comes in and throws at the kid.
And then you're going to lose the game because you hit all these batters.
You do it until you got one pitcher. You can't cancel everybody. But if your homie then got everybody on the team hit with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball between your shoulder blades, I'm done.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah.
That's what you learn here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports.
Supposed to hit the whole team.
Yeah, and eventually they would like, if they had no pitchers that could cut, then they lose the game. They forfeit the rest of the game.
Well, that's solved.
Do you want G. Bush to read?
We got some internet comments. I got you right
Let's
here.
read them. So the judges ruled. I can take this silly wig off now, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good ruling. Good ruling,
Anytime
Your
we
Honor.
have internet comments, they're brought to us by PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. Steve, we could punch tag board here after Bulls.
It's fun to stay at the PCC Airfoils. It's fun to stay at the PCC Airfoils.
It's like Weird Al is here.
That didn't really work.
Yeah,
it's all right.
That was one of the worst.
Hey, you know what?
Not your best.
You win some, you lose some.
Hey,
I think that was definitely an
You
out.
gotta take swings.
You got to try. Yeah.
Here's our first internet comment, though. This is a breakdown of the strategy. From the right side, squat low to minimize the strike zone. Strategy from the left side, distract pitcher with bat, hope for a ball. It's a lot of work just to not swing and pray for a walk.
It is a lot of work. Eddie Goodell one time famously had an at-bat in the major leagues. Bill Veeck was the owner of the White Sox, and he signed a little person.
Yes.
That's not how they introduced him.
No, that's not how they introduced him back then.
Yeah, but Eddie Goodell came up. He was like 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
And there's a great picture of the catcher catching the ball, and he's kind of got his eyes closed in disgust, and that signified ball 4.
Right.
And then I think there was some rule put in that you can't sign circus performers to play Major League Baseball, which basically that's what they were. They brought that guy out, Eddie Goodell.
They don't let you have any fun.
Nah, I know it. They do that in the minor leagues all the time. Though. There's no rules, so you never know what you're going to see. And what was the last one?
We have one more, and this person just doesn't like us. They say, I also hate when someone does something fun and cool. So they're disagreeing with us that this is a Bush League move, and they're in favor of the switching sides.
Yeah. Well, no, some of you guys liked it.
I got no problem with it. I thought it was funny.
They can do whatever they want at that Japanese high school.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
He just got hit in the throat by his slider. Yeah, come on,
Good times.
It is a little weird. I mean, I thought it was I thought it was a little disrespectful. Yeah, that's not the intent of the
I want to
game.
know the backstory of that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've got a lot of strategy that they employ in Japan.
Mike and Anthony have two big assignments. We need the backstory on Deshaun Watson walking across the street and the backstory of that Japanese batter.
I texted Melinda, who took that video. She's a producer at ESPN. I worked with her many times. She said she can't come on because we're NBC. ESPN has a lot of crazy restrictive rules.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
You can't. They don't want anybody going on anything that's not a Disney platform. You talk about restrictive.
So stupid.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll buy us soon, and then we'll won't have to worry about it anymore.
Everybody
right?
be working for the same company.
Right?
Or
Eventually, we'll all be working for Bezos.
Yeah,
he just heard me say that.
That's the way we're going, right? He owns everything.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it's not.
Let's do good bet, bad bet real quick, and then we'll get to some final takes.
How do we do
Rare
yesterday?
bad day for me.
Big day for Jay.
Yeah.
3-0.
Got them all yesterday.
G. Bush 2-1. Bull 1-2. The first time Bull hasn't had a winning day in quite a while.
Yeah.
So here are the standings.
Still got a
Bull
massive
still has a
lead.
commanding lead, though, a 5-game lead. And Tyvis has overtaken Polk for the percentage lead. Interesting.
But, Mike has still consistently been around, and he gets two for one every day. He gets 2-1 every day.
Yeah, right around there. Although I didn't get today's game, so we'll see. I can't wait to see how I bet today. You just picked for me? That's fine. I don't think you sent those to me. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Let's check. Let's check that this could be a Mike Lucas failure here.
I'm not dying on this hill. It couldn't be. You can guess them just as well as I can.
Polk is right. He never received the bets.
That's fine.
Bad job out of you, Mike.
Well,
that's a big miss on me.
Do you want to just throw them out right now and have them make
I'll
his picks
take
right here?
I'll ride with you. I'll ride with you.
We could live up to them. This is where Tag Board does help. All right, let's take the first one then. Not Yankees. Over 9 runs in the Guardians-Red Sox game tonight.
It was interesting that you didn't give us the game itself. I wondered why you
Yeah,
did
because
that.
the line wasn't out yet because the Guardians pitcher hadn't been
Yeah.
chosen.
They're going bullpen
Well, they're
game.
going. I think Shaw's pitching.
Yeah, it's a bullpen game,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
But they said last night in the telecast that Shaw was pitching.
Right.
I'm like, there's an L.
What was that about?
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's only going to pitch an inning or two, probably.
Yeah, it'll be a bullpen game, but hey, they may stretch him out a little bit. He might get 3 or 4. Depends on how he's going.
What do you
Polk,
got?
How do you feel about that pick, though?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We're 1 for 1. All right, second game. Yankees getting a 1.5 tonight in the Subway Series at the Mets. Everyone went good here, so.
You're giving the Yankees a run and a half.
Come on, man.
I'm taking that. That's stealing.
All day.
I'm fine with it.
Sunday.
Yep.
I don't understand how that's 1.5.
I didn't either. I looked too, and I could not understand why they're getting a run and a half.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
makes no sense to me either.
they know something that we don't. It's a sucker bet. I don't know.
Well, we all bet the same. So
I mean,
it
the
doesn't
Mets have a very good
The
team.
Mets are
too.
excellent too, but
I just
why are running? How come these games are never just a half instead of
They're
running?
every line in baseball is a 1.5.
Doesn't make any sense. But all right, go ahead.
Insane.
All right, third bet. Under 9.5 runs in a first-place game tonight between the Brewers and the Twins.
Yeah, that's bad. Both pit. You got Dylan Bundy going for the Twins. He stinks. And the Brewers brought up a kid who's just making his second major league start. I can't think of his name right now. He got pummeled in his first start against the Cubs,
They're
who
gonna
have
score
a
runs,
mediocre
though.
offense.
They're going to score
Right, I
runs.
expect a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I did too.
And they're both good offensive teams.
Mike, you good with
I'm
that?
going to go with Baseball Rain Man here, so I'll go ahead and switch that over.
Okay, that's not a bad idea.
No.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a
There you
bad
go.
We might
All right.
make it.
Cool.
Let's give it bet. Let's do final takes.
Nice.
All right, guys, let me start with this. And I know there'll be people that'll disagree with me here, but that's okay. I live in that world. I have a big problem with just I don't even know if it's just American society, but it's all of society that forces you to dress nicely. Okay? My nephew is having a bar mitzvah. We're very excited about this in October. And that's great. But there's like 82 events that we have to go to. So we're flying to New Jersey. We got a family dinner on Thursday night. We got the service on Friday night. We got the main service on Saturday morning, the party on Saturday afternoon, the after party on Saturday night, and then brunch on Sunday morning.
Good Lord.
Now, all right, it's a lot of events, and
like
that's
a
fine.
wedding.
It's a big day for the kid. All right, good. That's not my problem. My problem is that I got to get a nice outfit for every one of these events. And when you're, 5'7.5", $3 bills, it's not easy to find nice outfits. I got to get everything tailored. I gotta go buy things online because the store doesn't have the certain size. Even the fat stores don't have short and fat stuff, as I've complained about before. Who started this rule that when you go to a wedding or a bar mitzvah or whatever, some fancy occasion, What's the Christian equivalent of a bar mitzvah? What is that?
First communion?
First communion.
Baptism?
No, that's not. That's when you're a little kid.
Confirmation?
Confirmation. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, you probably have to dress up for that too. Sure. It's annoying. I don't want to wear a sports coat. I hate sports coats. I hate ties. When you got a big neck like I do, you don't want to wear a freaking tie. Stop making me wear ties. And by the way, thank God I've never had a job where this is like the nicest I've ever had to dress, a button-down shirt and jeans. Thank God I never had a job where I had to wear a shirt and tie. No offense to Jay, but all those dopes wearing suits and ties on SportsCenter look like idiots. Nobody sits and talks about sports wearing a freaking suit and tie.
You're making my argument. I used to argue
yes,
till I was
it's absurd.
We're still pretending like we're in the 1950s.
I know, it's so dumb.
But I would just say, why don't we just put on the top coat and the top hat?
It's ridiculous.
Like baseball games in the 30s.
And casual. We should. I want to go in sweatpants and a T-shirt to the bar mitzvah. Can I?
In the words of Goods the animal, this is the flyest you ever been.
This is the flyest you've ever been, Adam. No doubt.
Well, I say do it. Rock what you're wearing right now.
All right, my final thought is a complaint as well. You won't believe it or not, and it is the death of a good friend of ours, the Choco Taco. Unfortunately, it was just announced yesterday that the Klondike Company is no longer making the Choco Taco. Now, just a reminder, the Choco Taco is just like that. That's not really a taco shell. That is an ice cream cone, and it is full of deliciousness. And they've been around since 1983. It was invented. It used to be only available on ice cream trucks until like 1995 or something. And then they're like, we should put these bad boys in freezers and at your local grocer because everybody loves them because it's amazing. It's better than an ice cream cone because the distribution of the ingredients is better. Problem with an ice cream cone is you just eat the toppings off the top, and then you got to work your way down. And you just work through layers. With a Choco Taco, everything's evenly distributed around the cone, and you get to enjoy it in every single bite. Why are you getting rid of it, Klondike? Why do you hate us so much? You don't think we're going through enough right now? We just went through 2 years of a pandemic that we're apparently still in, and I guess we'll be forever. Are we agreed on that? We're always just going to be in a pandemic? That's fine. Everybody hates each other in this country right now. We've never been more polarized. Europe is essentially melting due to global warming. It's happening, Jay, whether you want to admit it or not. I'm pretending he's a climate change denier. What I'm saying
Sign me up, I am.
You already took away the Mexican pizza from us at Taco Bell. Apparently, you guys can't keep that together anymore. We're falling apart and hanging by a thread in this country, and you're taking away our Choco Tacos. We don't know when the McRib's going to be back. You don't even tell us. You just drop it out of nowhere. I guess whenever you get a good price on wholesale rat meat, I'm just kidding. McDonald's uses real meat. You can't sue me for libel because I said I was kidding. Long story short, here's the worst part. I don't believe the Choco Taco's even really gone. I'm cynical, but I think this is a big marketing ploy. I think they're trying to make us remember how much we love the Choco Taco. They take it away. Then we got to start a petition online, and some nerds got to like get everybody to sign it and say, oh, bring back the Choco Taco, Klondike, please. And they'll be like, well, maybe we will. We heard you. This is all a ploy. It better be a ploy. I'm cynical, yes, but whether it's real or not, I don't like that you're talking about getting rid of the Choco Taco. It's an American institution that came from Mexico based on its makeup. It's not really. But regardless, I'm mad. I missed the Choco Taco already. R.I.P.
I agree with you. It's a conspiracy.
That's great.
It is. It's true.
Boy, I was going to say something else. But
were you going to talk about the Choco Taco too?
I wasn't even going to talk about that. I was going to talk about Jury Dude, but I got to switch it up now. By the way, I'm going to just piggyback. People say this all the time. We're as divided as we ever been. No, we've been way more divided. We had a whole thing called the Civil War around here.
Oh, yeah.
There's like, hey, you know what? You know, people back, we talk about vaccinations now. I mean, there was a whole thing back in the day. Vaccine, people, hey, we got rid of a thing called smallpox, people. I just want y'all to know that. It was a thing that was kind of devastating.
And polio.
And polio. And I think if they had vaccines during the bubonic plague, people would probably take them. So I just don't know what happened to us. Like, why do we don't believe anything? The moon landing never happened. There was no such thing called slavery. And everybody back in the day was kumbaya. No, we've been doing dumb stuff. We've been doing dumb stuff for years, man. And it's just it's a microcosm of what we do as humans. At the end of the day, I used to watch TV all the time. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm a big political guy, right? I watch all the stuff. You know what I find? I find myself being more like Jay over here. You know, sometimes I can look at it and I can watch TV and get mad and infuriated. But I don't. I just say, you know what? I'm not gonna watch that. I'm gonna. Sometimes it's okay to bury your head in the sand because at the end of the day, just like I said, hey, you know, it's been worse before. It's the same thing with politics. They've always had the same opinions, and we've always been futile. It's just they're on TV more, so I can't get all wrapped up in it. Go outside, hang out with your kids, go to work, do the best you can. And just go ahead and watch nice, easy listening like HGTV, like I do.
I like Turner Classic Movies, personally. Yep, everything was nice in black and white.
Everybody talks about studies. I'm just going to impromptu go to this because I think you changed yours on the fly too.
Yep.
So everybody talks about studies. There's a study done about a year ago, maybe a little less, about people's dispositions and happiness as it relates to how much cable TV news they watch.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And it was the findings of it weren't gray. It was absolutely black and white. The more you consume of cable TV news, particularly of the political variety, the more miserable you are. And it wasn't even close. And this actually became a thing when I had to have a talk with my mother. Bless her soul, 82 years old. She loves to be informed. I actually had to tell my mom, if you don't stop watching cable news, I'm going to cut your cable to your house. And you're not going to know what happened. I'll tell you that the cable companies went out of business and she'll have to believe me. Because I love my dear mother more than my next breath. But I was watching her through her watching too much politics on TV become more and more unhappy. My mom is the happiest soul I've ever met. She's never in a sour mood unless she's watching cable TV news. And she finally said, you know what, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to give it a shot. She hasn't watched it in about 2 years, and I have my mom back.
Yeah.
Happy, smiling, full of life. Because at the end of the day, and this is what I told her, Mom, all of this bloviating on both sides, a lot of it's rhetoric, but very little of it is going to affect your day-to-day life. You're 82 years old. You're okay financially, and you're going to be okay till the end. None of these decisions that are being made by the far right and the far left are going to impact you. Stop watching it. She has, and she's back in her good place. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I typically not in the business of telling people not to watch news because Mike, you and I, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But thank God we don't do that.
Well, local news
we
is
don't
super
dive
trusted.
down into that.
And local news is the most trusted of
You know
all
what?
news.
You're right. There was a study done recently that shows that the most local, the most trusted source of news is your local newscast.
It's because they hear
every
our
time I
accents.
watch local news, I think that person doesn't come off as phony at all.
Right,
Not at
right?
all.
No,
What we doing tomorrow?
But they're not political
No, that's true.
advocates.
That's true.
You know, you won't see that. Sometimes you see
But
it
I like
locally,
Jay on the news because
but
he comes off as real. And it's seriously, I'm not just saying that. Most news reporters come off as so funny.
I don't wear a tie on the news.
And the way they talk, like I'm a news
Hello,
reporter.
and welcome to the newscast.
Good evening, everyone.
I am not Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of time. We're back tomorrow after a 22-hour break. Maybe we'll have a decision.
Please.
If it happens between now and tomorrow at 11 a.m., we will break in. We'll have special coverage here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys. Oh!